This version of It's Erik Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Are you ready? I said, are you
ready? It's Erik Nagel. It starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Erik Nagel.
Unfortunately, that is true. Welcome to 2025, everybody. My name is Erik Nagel, and over in the frozen tundra known as Arizona, say hello to Jordan.
Hi, everybody.
We usually do our normal spiel, but things are changing, and we don't know how this year is going to be any different than last year. It could be worse. Right. It could be better. We don't know. But anyway, thank you for joining us here on the program. If you join us in our live rooms, you can always do that every time we are live. You should get that notification from Twitch and from YouTube. If you don't have those notifications, what are you doing? Go over there, like and subscribe to those channels. It's free. Set up the notifications so that you know when we're on and you can watch the show live. Or if you can't catch us live and you want to watch it at your own damn convenience, then feel free to do so. The videos will be up on our YouTube channel. And you can get the on-demand iHeart show, Apple, Spotify, iHeart app, all of that stuff. And that's it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. That's exactly what I was hoping for here. Where is the things? There we go. There you go. Hit like, subscribe, all those fun things there. It is 2025, Jordan. You're starting off with a bang already. So we should celebrate a little, don't you think?
Sure. Let's celebrate.
Come on, let's do it, let's do it.
It's fantastic.
Poor Rob has to watch like 30 puppy videos now to wash that out of his brain. To
offset that algorithm? Yeah, I know. I'm gonna contact her and throw a bunch of money and say, look, I'm going to have you, can you do one for each year for the next 5 years? I'll give you like $1,000. We'll just keep changing the date behind you and keep doing the same thing. Different outfits. So it looks like it's, not all shot at the same time.
That's got to hurt.
But it's 2025. This is the only thing we have to look forward to and to celebrate.
Come on, let's do it, let's do it.
You get the idea.
This is how you start fires. Don't do that.
This is how LA burnt down. It all ties together. Also, want you to go over and check out. We've been off for the last couple of weeks. The last time we were doing a show was right before Christmas, and we took that time off for Christmas and New Year's to celebrate with our loved ones or to pretend that we were back in the good old times of the pandemic where we didn't have to see family and friends and just stayed at home for all the holidays and lived our best lives. Now, what we did put out, which has become an annual tradition, is our top 5 retrospective for Spotify. And what's the Apple service called?
Apple Replay.
Apple Replay. So I'm on Spotify. This guy's on Apple Replay right there. Both our music playlists. Oh, we got to get to the music playlist too. But anyway, so our rundowns get calculated by their algorithm, and then they tell us what our top artists are, top podcasts that we listen to, the songs we listen to the most, whatever. And I explain in the newest episode about how my algorithm got all kinds of messed up and how we had to course correct with a lot of that stuff. But you can go over to on Apple and on Spotify. We even have the scoped versions on YouTube because we had to cut the music out because of licensing and all that stuff. What are we doing?
Just getting around the logo.
No, this way, that way. There we go. Episode 2 of E-Rock Radio is up there for the top 5 of 2024. So you can go and check that out and listen at your convenience. Of course, our music playlists are up on Spotify and on Apple. There's Eric's version. There's Jordan's version. Just look up It's Erik Nagel playlist. The wintertime playlists are available for you to go and enjoy. I don't have a graphic yet, but we'll have a graphic at some point for that. And it's also our 500th episode of this show.
Yay.
Now, we were thinking about during the break, do we do an episode between Christmas and New Year's? Is that going to be the 500th episode? And it's like, nah, not a lot of people are really paying attention to the stuff that they usually consume on media during that time. So maybe that's not the best idea. We'll wait till after the New Year. And as we're trying to figure out and plan some stuff, all hell is breaking loose on the West Coast. The Midwest and the South are in a deep freeze and snow. Mm-hmm. Like Florida's in the single to tens of digits of temperatures. Jeez. Both, ironically, Fahrenheit and Celsius. They all came together and said, it is freaking cold. So half the country, 3/4 of the country is frozen, while a quarter of the country is burning and sliding into the ocean.
I was going to say it was like 35 degrees this morning for me. I'm like, whoop, that's it. That's as much as I want.
So it didn't seem really appropriate to do anything overly special
Celebrate.
For the 500th episode. I mean, we were going to have graphics and we were going to have clips and guests and all these things. And we said, nah, let's be lazy and not do that. Because we just did the big 10th anniversary about 6-7 months ago. We don't need to do another anniversary for this would be I'd think a pointless milestone for a lot of other people. It's like, wow, 500 episodes. Other shows are well into their thousands. Whether they're quality content or not, they're there.
I know.
We're a weekly show. We don't do a daily thing. So I was like, well, what if we did fire graphics and everything? And that could be taken inappropriately. So couldn't find a way to make that funny. So if it's not going to be funny, there's no reason to take that kind of chance and do something dumb like that. So I was like, all right, I guess we just won't do anything. We're going to focus on LA and a few other things coming back for this year. We have some stories from our holiday exploits, what happened to us. But our pal, producer guru, David Brody, you know him from the Elvis Duran show, sent over a song for us to celebrate the 500th episode. I have not heard this, but he's made things for me in the past. He's made stuff for O&A and other shows. He does damn good work. So this is the one he sent over here. It's titled The 500th Episode. So let's take a listen.
From the ashes of the Opie and Anthony show to Sirius XM to iHeartRadio. Now E-Rock celebrates his 500th episode. But the way things are going in the industry, who knows what the future holds? Jordan is the latest co-host. He loves Jack in the Box, the Chiefs, and Lego. He went rappelling and almost croaked. He goes into mosh pits, although he's probably too old. It's Erik Nagle, and to all of the faithful who have stuck with him this long, he's so friggin' grateful. Let's learn more about Jordan. He spoke French when he was born and has 9 tattoos and used to compete in wakeboarding.
Did?
Been on the show 2 years, he's due to leave without warning. It's Erik Nagle, and to all of the faithful who have stuck with him this long, he's so friggin' grateful. It's Erik Nagle. It's Erik Nagle. It's Erik Nagle. Fuck Erik Nagle.
AI doesn't know the cadence of things.
Right.
All right, I guess that's
Jordan,
it.
He loves Jack in the Box, the Chiefs, and Lego. He went rappelling and almost croaked.
Oh, they really love
Goes into mosh pits,
right?
Although he's probably too old. Probably too old. It's Erik Nagle, and to all of the faithful.
For a song that's supposed to be about this show and
it's really
named
Jordan
after
heavy.
me, it's very Jordan heavy. It's still going on. Like they're obsessed.
Yeah, no, it's
with
a lot of it's a lot of me.
Yeah.
We can end it.
The AI is really. You know why? Because he probably thinks you're the guy from Bowling for Soup.
Well, you know, as we found out because of our our algorithm throwing things out to people, everyone loves me. and everyone now associated with the state of Arizona. Arizona loves to make it about themselves,
right?
Including, co-host of your show. So yes, it makes sense that I'm heavily featured in your 500th episode.
I know.
Song titles.
So the show is going to just be
Pretty
called
good.
Just Jordan.
The latest co-host.
Yeah.
It's just all about me.
Right. Oh, yes,
be
I'm
gone by
sorry.
5:05.
And the Brooklyn Boys podcast. I do apologize. I was speaking to the greater masses who may know you, Brody. But yes, the Brooklyn Boys podcast. We've done crossovers. We're good friends with him and Scary Jones. And you can go check them out. They're on iHeart podcast as well, iHeart Radio app, all of that stuff.
I really appreciate my new self-serving ringtone I'll be using from now on.
You should. Jordan's too old to mosh pit, or whatever the song is.
That almost sent me. Just like, that's funny.
That's fell
really
in a ravine. It's all about your all accidental deaths, and for some reason you spoke French when you were born, which I don't know any baby French coming out of the womb that could even speak.
I mean, not.
But you're a prodigy, apparently.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Lazy Rabbit, hello. Are you in LA? No, we are not in LA. We're in New York City and Arizona, respectively.
Yeah, but I was going to say our agent is in LA.
Yes, so Hollywood agent Rob Stark is. At one point, he's like, when the fires were starting, he said, "Nah, it's on the other side." He's like, "You can see the smoke stuff, but I'm not near it. I should be okay." Then,
the way this is working, though.
Then, I mean, we're going to get into more detail in a little bit, but then little patches of other fires started happening, and the way the map is looking for Los Angeles, it's almost like Tommy Lee Jones in Volcano. The La Brea tar pits just all of a sudden started bubbling and turned into molten lava and was spilling out onto Wilshire Boulevard and just melting people and traffic. But there were just little cracks all around, almost in a circle around LA. Because there's one that was called the Hearst Fires, which I don't remember what particular part of Los Angeles that is. Then to the east of that was the fires in Pasadena. And if you map all these things together, get out your sextants or your compasses, everybody. Rob's in the middle there.
Yeah, so he's surrounded by fire. He could
go out this front door and oh, there's a fire over there. Go out his back door. Oh, there's a fire over there. So far, so good. He seems to be doing okay. I checked in with him last night, and he seemed to be all right.
Yeah, I checked in with my sister. She's south of that area a good amount, but I know how things kind of travel. She said they're doing good, but the air quality is just horrendous.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like, everything's just blowing around, and it's not good. So it's affecting a lot of the area. We've got the Palisades, Eaton, Hearst, Kenneth, Sunset Fire. So there's fires.
I was watching earlier this afternoon. There was fires that are right up by that famous observatory that you always see when they pan over Los Angeles.
Griffith?
Is that planetarium?
Yeah, Griffith.
Is it the Griffith?
Griffith Observatory is the one that's always like shot.
Yeah, it has like that kind of dome on the top of it. Yeah, okay, yeah. So you see the fires because that's at the top of the hill.
Yeah, it's like Runyon Canyon, like up in that area.
Yeah, and you see the fires coming up the other end. Now, as we see, we have a video from our pal Kevin Smith. His house was right below Runyon Canyon. And he took footage of the fires right at the top of the crest, if you will, of the mountain, and thought if it goes over Runyon Canyon, that's Hollywood, right below that, and all that would be gone because it's all old and a lot of wood-based housing down there. It's not very concrete. It's a whole mess. Anyway, we got a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to show you. We got footage from all over the place. We know people from my days with Sirius and with iHeart and just other people in the radio and TV communities that we're acquaintances of that were filling me in on their locations, what was going on, what's going there. I have photos. I have a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to get to in just a little bit. But let's talk about the holidays. Let's talk about what happened there first, and then we get into the heavier stuff. Jordan, Christmas, New Year's came and went. What did you do?
Actually didn't really do much. Kind of stuck at home. Didn't really go out too many places.
Okay, great. So for me, what happened? No, go ahead. You said nothing happened, so I was just moving on.
Came in town, and so I was trying to think of what I did last year, and it turns out last year was like a I was trying to recreate how, COVID-19 times were, and I got sick and didn't go anywhere. So this year seemed kind of weird. I was like, okay, what did I do last year?
Did you lose your sense of smell and taste?
No, thankfully not.
Oh,
I know
you didn't fully recreate it.
I didn't. Well, no, because I never had that problem. You did. I didn't. But yeah, so went to my grandma's and got a bunch of the family together. My sister was in town, but yeah, didn't really do much. Like I just kind of hung out. I had both kids just chilling at the house, and they just kind of did their own thing. We opened gifts. Didn't get a lot on my side of things, but I took care of the kids like crazy. I ended up buying myself a very expensive Lego set because treat me to some me. Put that together, but
treat
really didn't
me
do much.
to some me.
Yeah, that's right. Got to give myself something to do.
If we didn't already have the show episode title, that would have been, that definitely would have been it.
So yeah, like I said, got a few things. See, that's my old one. Yeah, that's the Barad-dûr. I got the Rivendell set.
Then give me a new updated one, because otherwise it's always going to be this photo.
That is. I mean, that is my Tinder profile. No, just kidding. And then, yeah. So I got a few books. Got some. Got a stocking full of stuff. Like I said, I took care of the kids. Got them a little axe throwing set, which we all took part in, throwing axes throughout the house.
Nice. It's never too young to teach them survival methods.
Well, at this point, zombie
how to
apocalypse
sharpen a
seems to be
knife
lot
or an
quicker.
axe is definitely a life-saving skill.
Right, blow darts, trying to knock them out during the house.
Right.
But, yeah, so just spent some time with family, but mostly low key. Just stayed in, especially New Year's. Like I didn't go out. I don't like going out for New Year's.
Nobody does.
So
And if they
stayed
do,
in.
they're lying.
I didn't even watch anything. Like me and the kids hung out. We watched, a few random videos, maybe watched a movie. And then when midnight got close, we tried to find whatever was streaming, watch the ball drop, and then just turn it off. And then that was it. Made some snacks, ate some garbage food. It was fun. I like staying in, man. It's great.
Family I had over for New Year's were all done by like 9:00. And it was great because I was like, I cleaned up. I do all the cooking stuff, so I cleaned up.
Yeah.
Everyone's passed out. The kids passed out. So I'm like, because that's the big hurdle. Once the kid's done, everything else is easy. So kids out, everybody's out. And it's like 9:30 when I finish cleaning everything. I go, this is great. I'm going to go play video games. I've left some leftover food because I don't like going out for New Year's. I think it's the worst holiday.
It's just, too much.
Yeah. And there's nowhere to go. And people say, oh, it's great to go to parties. You go to places to celebrate. It's not, because nothing ever feels good enough or appropriate or the right way to celebrate New Year's. Because I know people make reservations. They go to a restaurant and then they go out to some kind of like upscale club or something for drinks and dancing or whatever, and they celebrate there. That doesn't sound like exciting to me. Because the second the ball drops, the celebration's going on, kissing, hugging, calling, family members, what have you. It's now 12:05 and everyone's trying to go home. And then there's traffic and you got to worry about drunk drivers or not getting an Uber. It's just a mess. And you get home like an hour later and it's never fun.
I was going to say, this year for you, New Year's was even worse with the weather, right?
Not for me. It was shitty weather, but to my enjoyment was watching everybody else suffer in Times Square, because I don't know the idiots who go and get corralled into pens, because you don't just get to go we've all seen Times Square for New Year's Eve. They show it on ABC for the last 100 years. There's thousands of people in Times Square waiting to watch the ball drop, but they're not just all walking around. There's penned off areas. You get there early, they fill up a penned area, they close it, and then they have an officer guarding that. So if you need to go to the bathroom, you got to go find a local store that's going to let you go to the bathroom. And if it's not in that immediate area, you can't get back in. So if you want to be there to watch the ball drop, some people are getting there early afternoon, like the sun is still up when they get there. Most people are getting there about 6.
Yeah, I saw a video of people I guess they opened up this gated area. They're like, all right, it's open for business. It was like 2 p.m. And these people were running like as if it was a concert and to try to get to the front. So they were running to their little pens. And then, yeah, you're right. They just lock them up.
So everybody does.
Now you got to wait 9 hours.
They all wear the Depends. They're all sitting there, or they're just openly peeing in the street. Because what are you going to do at that point, But the weather was so bad. It was downpouring and lightning. I haven't heard lightning and thunder, I think, since the summer. It's been a long time. And it happened that night. I'm just sitting there by my fireplace. I'm watching television. I'm flipping between all the terrible New Year's Eve programming. And I hear the rumbles outside. I went, oh my God, yes, it better. And right as I said, it better start lightning, the whole sky in the room lit up. I went,
lights up.
yes. So now I'm tweeting out. I'm like, I can only hope that lightning hits the ball. And then the ball refracts the energy into various little streams all across Times Square and just taking it.
Everyone's just getting shot.
Yeah, it's looking like that scene in Spider-Man No Way Home. You know, when all the multiverses are colliding in each other, and like and Doctor Strange's like, I can't stop it, they're here, and there's just portals opening, lightning striking all over the place. That's what I'm hoping is happening. It didn't get it to that extent, but it was downpouring for a long time. There were people who, the artists that had to perform, dancing on this little light up stage in the middle of Times Square, even though they have like tenting over it. The water was still coming in. They're holding microphones. There's strobe lights and dancing. I'm hoping for some low level electrocutions happening here. You know, like she touched the monitor, like she leaned. You know how sometimes when they're singing and they really get into it, they put a foot on the monitor just to get that stance to really feel what they're doing. And if it like maybe connected and completed a loop, so as they stand on the monitor with the mic and like that, you just see them just fall down. I'm hoping for that kind of entertainment. Alas, wasn't there. But yeah, New Year's Eve sucked. But at home, throughout the day, I make high level appetizers.
See, I go the opposite way, and I just do the trashiest food, like nachos with shredded cheese. Like that's
not bad.
But it's all garbage food. Like I'm not making like,
But
really
you're in an
good
area
food.
where a lot of that stuff is more prominent.
Yeah,
than I'm in. So I have charcuterie boards. I'm making high grade pigs in a blanket. I've got lobster puffs. I've got really, really good, not the shitty frozen mozzarella sticks that you find in the supermarkets. The really good one where it's like heavily seasoned, garlic, spiced, all of that stuff. The pizza sauce to dip it in, not just marinara. Mini cheese. I had mini sliders that I ground up with bacon and cheddar and ground it all together and made the patties. And so I had, it was fantastic. I just made all this stuff between 2 and 4. And then I have a big L-shaped kitchen. So the one side is just marble counter all the way down. You clear it off, and I'm just setting up like a buffet. There's just trays and bowls and everything right there. Condiments, utensils, everything's there. And that's the day. You cook everything in the early afternoon.
Just graze.
Everybody comes in. They just take what they want. If we run out of things, I'll go cook a little bit more. But some people bring stuff. You've got all kinds of salads and desserts, and it's fantastic. It's like, why would you ever go out?
Yeah, I treat it you just graze. You just graze all day. Eat whatever's out there. Like you said, make a little more here and there. Maybe do like a cheese dip.
Everyone passed out, and I went and played Sea of Thieves and Phasmophobia for the rest of the night. The next thing I know, it's 4 a.m. I was like, oh, this is how I rung in the new year. You got a Christmas gift. Well, you got a Christmas gift from multiple people.
This year apparently was my year of getting books. Like I got a book from a really good friend that I already read. It's really good. I love that one. I got a Danny Trejo cookbook from my mom, cool. Which was kind of cool. Like, he's got his series of restaurant, taco shops and stuff like that, and donut places. So he's got a couple things. And then I got another cookbook, which, okay, that's great. And then the next day I got another cookbook. And I was like, oh, this looks familiar. I got 2 of the same cookbook from 2 separate people. And it doesn't make sense because
they just felt like this was a Jordan gift.
Apparently this was something meant for me. I have not brought up this gentleman in public. I have not. I mean, we talked about, a product that him and another artist has decided to put out, but I'm not like during high school, obviously, you listen to 1 or 2 songs from this guy, but I've never been like oh my God, I love this guy. He's, this would be cool to have. It never has ever come up. two separate people, without talking to each other, decided to get me this cookbook. I'm the proud owner of two From Crook to Cook Snoop Dogg cookbooks. The exact same book.
Oh my God.
From two separate people.
This looks...
I'm not even into Snoop that much. Like, what the heck? It was so random.
In Walmart, there was a small portion, an end part of an aisle for their vast Christmas section that was all Snoop Dogg related Christmas products. Snoop on the Stoop, which is his version of Elf on the Shelf, Mensch on the Bench, that kind of shit. There were Snoop ornaments. There was Snoop, everything for Christmas. This looks exactly the color scheme that this would have been part of the Snoop Christmas line. Now, I'm not knocking Snoop Dogg and all. I mean, good for him for figuring all this out. But come on.
Yeah, it was very random, and I'm just sitting there going, I'm grateful. I'm glad people, feel that, compelled to do something nice for me. And I'm not going to knock, the effort. I just don't know where the effort was. Like, what was the effort? Like, I don't listen to Snoop regularly. I don't bring him up. I don't care.
Right.
It was fine seeing him at the Super Bowl. I get that, he's at, my kids are more into Snoop than I am because of Fortnite. And I get two of the exact same cookbooks from Snoop. So it was a weird Christmas this year. Like, it was just very odd because I'm opening it up and going, oh, I saw this yesterday when I opened the other gift. Like, it's so very random. Like, it's fine. I think I'm going to try to get one returned. I haven't done it yet.
What do I see here on this list about your glasses? What happened?
Oh, so... like we've talked about, our kids and we're getting older and how things have kind of changed. And, sometimes you don't feel like the song said, like, I'm too old to be going to mosh pits. I don't try to recognize my age. I go and do all this dumb stuff.
Right.
So right before Christmas, I went and checked. I went and got my eyes checked. I wear glasses, but I don't usually wear them that often. But as you get older, your eyes get a little more worse. So I went to go get my eyes checked. They gave me my prescription. I order some new glasses from this company.
Probably missed your old glasses.
Yeah, it's true. But so they sent me my new glasses like right before Christmas. I was like, oh, cool. I got my new glasses. I'll wear them, to out and about. I put them on. My vision far away. Great. Perfect. I'm glad I got it done. I hold up my phone. Completely blurry. I'm like, they screwed up the prescription. I was so mad. So I sent off an email and waited. Now, with the holidays coming up, emails didn't get checked right away. It took a little while. So I just got an email maybe 2 or 3 days ago responding back to my inquiry, as it were. And they're like, well, we filled it the way you'd sent it in. So check this prescription. So I went to the doctor again to go check the prescription, check the glasses. As I'm sitting there, this woman goes... she's putting all her information in, looking it all up. And then she looks at me, looks back at the computer, and she does this. How old are you again? I'm like, oh, okay.
That's not good.
So I'm like, 45. And she does this.
You are?
Yeah.
You look
and
so much older than that.
I know.
Probably the beard. What if you shaved the beard?
No one wants to see what's under here.
Why?
Because it's gross. And
you look a lot younger.
I don't care.
Okay.
She goes,
how much money could we raise to get you to shave that beard?
I don't know. Are we counting all the money from June to now that still hasn't come my way too? Are we just
enough.
There we go.
All right, hold on. No,
we don't need them sending it to you. Don't you dare send anything to me.
You're right. I never look at that account. I forget.
No, don't even look.
No, I'm sending the money right now.
Don't you dare. So she looks at me. She asks that question. I answer, and she goes,
what? I'll even round up.
Don't you dare. And she goes like this. She goes, oh, that makes sense. I'm like, oh, what now? Turns out I have now gotten to the age and my eyes have gotten so bad that I have to get bifocals. Old man glasses. I was so mad. I just couldn't believe that I've gotten to that point in my age now where I have to wear bifocals. So they had to change my prescription. They had to measure where like the bifocal, they call them progressives now because, if you say bifocal, you're, from the 1800s.
Liberals. Call them liberals.
my liberal glasses so I can see things up close and far away and identify grievances toward various groups of people. And so I have now hit that milestone where I need bifocals, and it's ridiculous. I can't believe you just sent me money. You son of a...
Yeah, but here's the thing. I just sent it from the wrong account, so I'm going to...
Do I need to send that back to you?
Hold on. Keep going. I was listening to your story, and I realized I sent it from the wrong account.
Yes.
So go ahead.
So yes, I have. I'm now an old man, and it sucks. Like, it just feels. It's like when you get to that point where, like, you have to go get a prostate exam instead of just doing it because you think you want to check on your health. Like, where it's like your age is now requiring it. Now I have to wear bifocals, and I'm just like, I'm so done. I'm tired of getting old, and it sucks. So that was it. Like, it was one of those weird moments where you're right. I'm trying to hold on to youth. I go to all these concerts. I'm jumping in mosh pits. I'm trying to have fun. And then someone comes over and tells me I need bifocals, and it just kind of kicks me down a peg, and it just makes me feel like garbage. I'm like, ugh. Anyway.
I wondered at one point too if I was not bifocals, but I thought I was going to get to the point of, like, I think I might be heading in the way to going back to glasses. I had glasses when I was younger. I think I got them about...
Stop wearing them? Like, people just don't stop wearing glasses.
No, I did. Content? I just said, I'll get over this, power of positive thinking, and here I am. I haven't worn them since.
Everything's blurry.
Yeah, just constant dead bodies every time I drive. I had them like in 3rd grade, but then around 7th grade, I got contact lenses. And I had them forever until about beginning of 2008. And I got LASIK surgery done. And that makes sense. Was a game changer because...
You're like, no, positive thinking, and they just self-corrected. Yeah, with a laser.
I think that's what I'm going to tell people. That I had glasses in 3rd grade, and then I stopped wearing them, and I got better. And then they go, that's not how it works. I go, yeah, it was power of positive thinking and Flintstones chewables. And that's
these safety goggles don't do anything.
I had
lasers.
Yeah, I had a dietary regimen that really helped and brought out. It was a lot of carrots. Really brought out the calcium, and I fixed my own vision.
That's the story you tell your kid when she won't eat her vegetables, and then that's how you tell. It's like, no, if you eat your carrots, your vision will be better. And this is how I cured mine, and then that's how you get her to eat carrots. So funny.
Yeah, so I had the LASIK stuff, but I thought at some point I was going to have, because they say LASIK only lasts so long.
Yeah.
So that was 2008.
Like, it's not a permanent thing either.
2008, so I'm 17 years into the LASIK. And it's fine, but I did notice, like, when I was still going into Manhattan, in Penn Station, I started to notice I couldn't see as far down the giant hallways to read the train signs as I used to. Now, it's not bad. It's not like I can't see 20 feet past me or anything. I'm talking about maybe like a football field length. And I'm like, the small print, I'm like, oh, I can't really see that anymore. I used to be able to. I can't. But if I focus a little bit, then I see it. So I'm like, all right, I can see that it's happening as you get older, what have you. I also found out that you can get a tune-up. You may still qualify. You may still, they do whatever, the testing, and they go, all right, yeah, you could get a tune-up on your LASIK. So at some point, I'm thinking about doing that. I don't need it now. But I have noticed, especially at night too, like, I can't see if you're on the highway. I used to be able to see the exit signs a little bit further than I normally get. I still can see them. It's fine. But it's not as far as it used to be, right? So I know age, time, it's going to happen. What I also have noticed is that I could be looking at my phone and reading stuff for a while, right? And then I go, okay, news stories got this, all this is done, cool. Then I put my phone down to go look, and all of a sudden everything's blurry. My eyes,
because your eyes are focusing so much on that.
Right? So I'm like, oh great. So I close my eyes. You got to rub your eyes and just sit there for a minute, and all of a sudden it comes right back, and now I see everything again. That's when I thought, shit, one of these days I'm going to need glasses. I don't need bifocals like you.
Like, it's such an old man thing to say.
It is. I'm probably just going to need to get like that $2 pair of reading glasses at the checkout at CVS or something like that,
Yeah, no, it was such a weird. Well, and it sucked too because like if you get just regular glasses and all this stuff, it's a certain price. But I guess to do these progressives, it added another $200 to the cost of the glass. I'm like, fuck, come on, man. So getting old is getting expensive,
Right?
and it's ridiculous.
Oh, I love this. So because I sent you the money that that you're owed. You're 100% right. I just keep it was there. I just kept forgetting to send it to you. It's not that I didn't want to. So the money from all this stuff comes from one account, right?
Right.
I go and I see that my thing, because this leads into my story for what happened to me around Christmas and New Year's, had a bank issue. So my settings were set to my other account. So I sent you money from the other account, which I was having problems with. So that's one more headache I didn't need. I went to just go, I'm like, crap. All right, I'll take money from this account, transfer it over to this account to cover what was just sent to you. And it because it's not with the same bank, if you send the transfer within 3 to 5 days, there's no fee. If I want it in minutes, it's a $3.50 charge.
Don't you hate that? It's like doing Venmo. It's like, okay, you could get it in a couple days, or you can get it now, but you lose like 60 cents, 70 cents on the,
right,
whatever you sent. Ugh, that's annoying.
So, yeah, I don't need the money that bad, so I will let it go for the 3 to 5 days to transfer it over. But yeah, so ridiculous. But thank you for reminding me, because now you've got this all that super chat money that everybody was sending in all this time, and I forgot to. It wasn't being used. It just sat in an account and has been accruing from super chats, from the ad reads, from the ad placement, from My Heart, and all that stuff goes to another account, and I keep forgetting that money's there. So,
you're like one of those grandparents that say, for your birthday, I'm giving you money, but I'm not giving it to you. I'm putting it into a high yield savings account for your 18th birthday.
And that's not
Thanks, Erik.
That's not a terrible decision, right?
I know. When you're a kid, you're like, no, I want the new Nintendo.
I know.
Like, what are you doing, Grandma?
I told you that story, yeah. But this happens to me because I think the show or two before Christmas, I forgot I had Bitcoin.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I went and looked in there. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot I had this. Go back even further. In that drawer, I forgot I have all these gift cards.
Right.
Going back like a year or so ago, I'm like, every time I get a gift card, I put it in this stack here, and I forget I have them. So, yeah, you go through and like, oh, it's like dealer's choice, throwing everything down. It's like, here, what do you want? Banana Republic.
So funny.
Nordstrom's. eBay gift cards, tons of Home Depot cards that I should be using. Anyway,
that's okay. I keep forgetting to put together the box of stuff I'm going to send you, including your Christmas gift.
Walmart,
sitting right here on my floor.
Yeah, you got your Christmas gift, right?
I did. Let's see. I can probably tilt up here. It's hard to see, but
why don't you just go grab them?
Up here,
I can't. It's all the light is.
Give me a second. I'll go grab
all the light. The way it's beaming up there, it looks like if you crossed a beam in a security for a bank or a museum or something, it's going to call the cops. Oh, he can't hear me. He had his headphones unplugged. What a rinky-dink operation we're running here.
Yeah, I know, right? So yes, I got a box the other day. I think it was just after Christmas. Like it came right between Christmas and New
it was
Year's.
supposed to get there before Christmas, but
no, it's fine.
No, but like it happens. Like there was a bunch of stuff I ordered way ahead of time, and like, all right, this is perfect. It'll be here way before Christmas, and then all of a sudden it's sitting at a processing center somewhere, like either Amazon or UPS or whatever, and it's just sitting there. And it's like, oh, now it's going to be 5 more days. It's like, why? It's a state over. It shouldn't take that long.
Right, it's coming from Vegas.
Yeah.
You could have walked it over. But yes, I opened the box. You had opted for the gift wrapping. That was very nice. I know Hollywood agent Rob Stark has done that in the past as well. So it's very nice. And then I open up to find
it shows thought and
Blinky, the 3-eyed fish.
He's a delicacy with a taste that can't be beat.
Mr. Burns.
Yes.
But yes, very nice. I definitely appreciate it.
Come
it's
on,
hilarious.
He's a plushie. Give him a hug.
I know.
You know you want to squeeze him. Give him a big hug. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't
Wait,
wanna,
put him in your hand. Let me see how big he is.
He's
Turn
well, it's hard to
sideways.
tell, so I'll do it like this. So I mean, he's a little guy.
He looked a lot bigger when I was looking at
it.
him.
It was a 7-Up can.
Oh wow,
too.
he's tiny. Okay. Sorry, I thought he was a lot bigger than
That's okay.
than
That's
what
okay.
it actually is.
Now I could show you what I got you, so you know what's coming, or you can just wait. It's up
No.
to you. But it's.
And you got that other package, which we showed on there before, the thing from
Oh yeah, from
Thrilljoy.
Thrilljoy. Yeah, I could show that.
Thrill How.
Every time I say Thrilljoy, that's the first thing that I want to say.
Right, it's always
Thrill
Thrill
How.
How. No, don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I appreciate it. Thank you. That was I love Simpson shit. So like
Yeah.
it's perfect.
And that's
I don't
not
really
something you
have, like,
see often either.
No, you don't see a lot of like blinky merchandise. And I was like, oh, that is really cool. And I had to make sure I got it away from my dog. So
Gabby's in the chat. This all
Gabby.
sounds like dirty talk for radio. It does. Gabby, next week,
oh yeah.
I don't know if you have a setup, but since you're an authentic Mexican, I would like to have you on the show.
Homegrown.
Because I want to ask you your thoughts on something that apparently seems to be offensive and triggering to a certain community. And it's about Mexico and Mexican culture. But it doesn't seem like Mexicans are the ones that are offended by it.
No.
So that's the tease. I'll talk to you offline, but I would like to see if you have a setup. I'd like to have you come on because we'd want to ask you some questions about a specific situation and get your thoughts as a native Mexican as to what you think or you believe your community thinks about that. There's a tease for next week. All right. Let me tell you about the bank situation, and then we can move on to other things. So Christmas was fine. No problems there. A couple days after Christmas, I get an alert. I think it was Friday the 27th, mid-morning. I get an alert on my phone that wakes me up, and it's a phone call from Bank of America. And that's the only time I'm going to say their name because they're fucking terrible. So the bank calls and asks me, and it's like, hey, we see a list of charges here. We just want to confirm that this was you. They're telling me the charges? No, this is absolutely not me. Okay, because it's from a place that we know you shop at, but we weren't sure. And yeah, somebody was buying shit online from Target. Now, I shop at Target. A million people shop at Target. But when you shop at Target, some stuff can get mailed to you. Other stuff comes from your local store or stores that they pick it up from there and they can deliver it to your house. You can drive up. They have the drive-through thing at Targets now where you pull into the parking spot, you show them your code, and they bring it out to you. Or you could go and pick up your order, right? Somebody who's shopping online, very pricey cart, I'll say, several times to pick up at a location. And the location, when they first tell me, they said it was in Brooklyn. And I go, I'm not near Brooklyn. I don't go shopping in Brooklyn, so it couldn't be that.
Right.
Later I find out it's Brooklyn Park, which is in Minnesota.
I was going to say, did Gittles get a hold of your card number? Was just buying stuff in Brooklyn?
No, because then I'd have a reason to end him. And that would have been fantastic. But I don't have that reason, so I still will bide my time. But until then, later on, they're saying Brooklyn Park. And I said, wait a minute. Where's Brooklyn Park? And they said, well, isn't that Brooklyn? I go, no, there's no Brooklyn Park in Brooklyn.
Right.
Look it up. Oh, it's Minnesota. You know what else is in Minnesota? Target. Target is from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Park, apparently a suburb of Minneapolis. So somebody was ordering stuff online, several different orders, to go pick up at this Target in Brooklyn Park. So anyway, yes, it's not mine. It's none of these are mine. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to send you over this link. They text over the link. They said you got to fill out this form for a fraudulent charge report or whatever it's called. And go do it right away, fill it out, and send it back to us so we can get this going. Okay, not a problem. Hang up the phone. I click the link. I go through and I fill everything out. All these charges, not mine, what have you. Send it back. Go and I call the bank back. So I'm speaking to the person. They said, okay, well, that's the fraudulent claims department. That's a different department than here. I said, okay, well, I need you to connect me there. Also, what else is going on with my account here? Well, they froze my account because of all these charges, which is fine. That's what they should do when that shit happens, right? Mm-hmm. They discontinued my debit card for that account. Okay, fine. When am I going to get a new card? I said, I don't have any local branches near me because they closed all the branches near me. Anything that's open are like vestibules for ATM machines. There's not like a brick and mortar place where I can go and do banking that's not at least half an hour away from me.
I was going to say a lot of them around here went into like being inside grocery stores.
Right.
Like a Kroger or wherever.
I haven't seen, I mean, that's fine. I would make that concession to go if they had it. There's nothing. They closed everything. So they said, oh, we don't do that anymore. What do you mean? I could go to a bank and get a temporary card. No, we don't do that anymore. So what do you do? Well, we can issue you a thing to set up an electronic wallet for your phone. I go, I don't want to do that. And he's like, well, you can use your money that way. I go, that's only good if I'm going to get groceries or gas. That's not going to pay my bills at the first of the month. I need the card with the number to put on these websites and these apps and whatever to pay my bills. Mm-hmm. Granted, it's the 27th, so we're several days away from the 1st. But it doesn't mean they start billing you on the 1st. Some companies start doing the 31st, if not the 30th, right?
Right.
So they said, well, we can just send you a card. Okay, can you please expedite that? We can do that, but that'll be $20. No, it won't. That's how much to send a card overnight. I go, no. I didn't lose my card. This is not something I did where I'm at fault and I would have to pay that. This is a fraudulent transaction, several fraudulent transactions that you notified me about. You called me to confirm, and I confirmed they were not. I filled out the form. I did everything else you're supposed to. You should be able to overnight me a card. Now, granted, this is the time I'm talking to them is about 1 or 2 o'clock on a Friday, so way before business hours are over.
Right.
They won't give me the card. They said it'll be 4 to 6 days. I'm yelling at this person. I go, that is bullshit. Well, sir, I'm like, fine. There's nothing I can do. Send me the card. And they said, well, we could I'll put the order in now, and hopefully maybe you'll get it by Monday. Okay, well, I have another question then, because I'm looking at the app and I go, when are these charges going to be cleared? So I can use, because they won't open up my account until these charges either drop off or they process. Sometimes when you have a fraudulent case on your credit card, they have to let the charge go through in order to legalize it, I guess, for them to go after whoever. They refund you right away. They change your card. They do all that stuff, but they have to let that charge go through. Then they remove it. They do their fraudulent fraud department, whatever, takes it from there. You get a new card. You get your bank account back. You get all the stuff refunded. Mm-hmm. Well, some of the stuff we see is starting to drop off now. By midnight Saturday, you should have all of this gone. Perfect. I'm like, okay. I don't agree with that because what company's really doing banking business over the weekend? Even if they're open on a Saturday, it's like a half day. They're not really.
Yeah, they're like done by 2, if that.
All right. So this is going to happen. I'll get this money back when this is all cleared up. Okay. What about these other charges you gave me? What other charges? I'm looking here. I go, well, I'm seeing. Now, keep in mind, this is a checking account. Okay. Mm-hmm. Most people, if you're smart, don't have a lot of money in their checking account. You have a decent amount of money to pay bills, to go shopping, gas, whatever. But the majority of your money is in your savings account, right? So you get your deposits from work, from other like stock dividends and other things, check deposits, all that stuff go to your checking account, unless you're at the bank itself. and say, I'd like to deposit this into my bank account or my brokerage account or whatever,
Right.
if you have I have a credit card that's through Bank of America. So it's like, I want to deposit this check towards my balance for my credit card. Or if you have a home loan, you see where this goes. So I said, I don't have much in the checking account. So what it did was, because all these charges were about $1,000, brought my checking account into the negative. So once it hit the negative, it automatically started pulling money out of my savings account to cover the charges for the checking account. But because it dropped below zero, I was getting fees, like penalty fees.
Yeah, it's like $35.
Something like this, and multiple fees.
Yeah, per time they try.
And because they can't take the fees out of my checking account, they had to keep adding to my negative balance on my checking account, pulling more money from my savings account to the checking account. So this is adding up well over $1,000 now with all of this. And I said, I want the fees reversed. I'm not paying these negative fees for shit I didn't do that you caused, that you did.
Right.
All right, I'll have that noted. No, it's not noted. This should be automatic. Get off this phone call. Saturday comes around. I'm frantically checking my bank account. All but one of the major charges has been dropped. That one is still there. The fees have not been reversed. I'm trying to get somebody on the phone. Saturday doesn't work. Monday comes around. I go and I speak to somebody, and they're like, well, this still has to go through. I'm like, this should have been done Friday.
Right.
What is going on here? Well, we can't do anything until this charge either it gets dropped or Target allows it to go through, and then we can, refund your money and all this other stuff. What's the status of my card? What card? The card on Friday, I said I needed replaced immediately because you canceled my account, my card, and froze my account. All right, well, it looks like it's being ordered today. No, it should have been ordered Friday, midday, when I was on, and they said, well, maybe it was after hours. And I went back. I'm like, I'm looking at my phone log right now. It's a little after 2 p.m. on a Friday when this was all being discussed. Plenty of time to have this card ordered and be processed and going through the motions. The card wasn't ordered. I'm losing my shit. I'm talking to other people if they've dealt with Bank of America's nonsense like this. I have a family member that has concierge banking privileges with this bank.
The white glove service.
So they said, I'll put you in touch with my guy. You talk to him. Maybe he can help you. I said, perfect. So that guy calls me and I'm explaining everything. And he goes, what number did you call? And he goes, did you call the number on the back of the card? I said, I did. He goes, don't call that number. I go, why would it be on the back of the card if you're telling me not to call that number? And he
this
says
is the number. It's 912.
And he's like, it's like a regional level of the bank. And he's like, they're not going to fully know all the details, all this stuff.
No.
I'm furious, but this guy, I'm not mad at because he went through everything to help me with all of this stuff. He was very thorough and worked with me. So I
That's
kudos
cool.
to this guy. He goes, well, what's this? I asked what the status with the card. He's like, well, they don't have a card ordered. And I explained everything that happened. And he goes, they absolutely should have issued you a card immediately and overnighted it to you. And I told him they wanted me to pay $20. And he goes, that's ridiculous. I go, you can see my account. Every time I call in, that's logged. And it can tell you who I talked to and all that stuff. I said, find those two fucking idiots that I talked to on Friday and report them. Or tell me who they are and I'll report them for all of this. So he goes through the motions, goes through everything. And he goes, everything else has been dropped. I don't know why this one charge isn't dropping. And so he's going and he's looking through some stuff, calls me back later, and he goes, yeah, unfortunately, we might have to just wait on this. And he's like, it looks like it's going to drop, but we just have to wait for it to happen before everything else can happen. Okay. Tuesday comes around. It's New Year's Eve. I talk to the person again. The charge still hasn't dropped. It's still there. My bank account's frozen. Can't do anything with it. Bills are starting to come in. I'm starting to get email notices. from the usual stuff like streaming services that I have. Saying I get an email saying that it failed payment because they couldn't process the card.
Yeah, either try again or get a new card on file. Yeah, I've
right, that kind of thing. I have software licenses that you have to pay. Some of them are every month, so that's starting to come in. Spotify, Netflix, those kind of things. So I don't know what to do here. So I just spent a good portion of my afternoon between cooking and hanging out with family, sending polite emails to the department, the support department, whatever that's contacting me, explaining. I wrote a paragraph, cut and paste to all these emails. Said, here's what's happening. I don't have a card yet that I can even give you the number. I'm still waiting on this. It just unfortunately happened during this time. Is it possible to get a little bit of a grace period here? So as soon as the card is to be here any day, I'll go and replace it. You can charge me and we're fine. You can look at my history. I've never had a problem with paying anything. I've never had late payments, none of any of that stuff. And a lot of them don't respond back to you. But the ones that did were all nice. Said, we're sorry to hear that. And he's like, as soon as you get the card, here's the link to go in there, update your payment. Like, they just want their money.
Right.
But they were not giving me shit about it. And a couple of things like municipality bills for your house and that kind of stuff can fuck with your credit if you're not paying on time. So you have to let them know and have it in there. I said, I need a grace period. I'm asking for a couple days. Usually, sometimes, depending on the company, they'll give you like 3 days to 5 days after the first of a month to get stuff in. So I was fine with all of that stuff. And as the card eventually came in, I went and changed all that. Tuesday night around 9:30, I get an alert on my phone. Okay, what is this one now? What are the? And I'm making a tally of every. You forget how many bills you're paying off your debit card or your credit card.
Especially if you have it on auto pay, like you just kind of it's the wrong.
Yeah, you forget about it.
You set it and forget it. Yeah.
So exactly. I have a notepad. I'm writing everything down that I have to go and find the logins to do all of this stuff to make sure it's all taken care of. Around 9:30 at night, New Year's Eve, I get a notice from Bank of America that they're letting me know that my card is on the way. It was ordered Monday night and will take 4 to 6 days. So now that's 4 to 6 days from Monday night. So if it was ordered Monday night, it's not going out till Tuesday.
And then a lot of it is 4 business days, which means if this was prior to the holiday, they may not count Wednesday.
Right. Well, if they got it in the mail on Tuesday, Wednesday counts, right? So it said ordered Monday night, probably processed Tuesday, which was not a holiday. It's an open working day.
Sure.
So I'm like, at least, at minimum, I'm not going to get this card till next Saturday, the upcoming Saturday. So I'm like, fuck, it was really an inconvenience because you forget how much you rely on your debit card just for everyday things, to go to the grocery store, to get gas, to go to Home Depot to pick up something, whatever. These little things that you just use your debit card for. I've had people I was talking to, they said, well, why don't you just set up your Apple Pay and do it that? I go, because I don't want that on my phone. But you put your card everywhere else.
To do that.
Why don't you just do it on your phone? Because I don't want it on my phone. I don't want it on my phone. I wasn't going to do it because even the concierge at the bank was saying, we can set up the e-wallet and you can just use your phone for some of this stuff. I go, I understand, but it doesn't take care of online payments. It's not like I can go to Amazon and pay a bill. It's not like I can go to Spotify's office and go, here you go, here's a check, or lay out cash. I'd like to pay my bill for this month. So all this goes on. Wednesday's a holiday, can't do anything. Thursday comes around, I get a phone call from the concierge guy. The charge finally dropped.
That's good.
I'm like, okay, good. Did it go through or did whatever? And he's like, it doesn't look like it went through. If it did go through, the fraud department already removed it and they're doing something with it, or it just dropped because it was pending and it didn't process and then finally it exhausted whatever it does digitally and it's gone. Okay, when am I going to get the money back? Because that's a problem. All right, you should see it anytime today. You should start seeing the money back. Okay. Then I also find out that I had deposits pending that were frozen going into the 27th when they shut my account down. So I had like stock stuff, dividends, those kind of things that get paid and go into that account. I had various other things that were depositing money into my account from different systems, whatever, that was just sitting there. I had to wait for that thing to restart too. It restarted apparently, Tuesday night, and because my account was still frozen in the negative, part of the money that was deposited in there got taken out to cover the negative. So this is just adding up. And I went through thoroughly. I wrote everything down. I wrote all the money that should have been added in, the money they subtracted, the fees, whatever. Friday comes along. All the main big charges have been reversed with a very lovely notice from the bank, by the way, saying, we've issued you a temporary credit for your bank in the amount of this because of whatever. So I go
We're doing you a solid.
I read
You're
the
welcome.
yeah, it's like we're doing you the favor here. I read the fine print. The reason why they say it's a temporary credit and not refunding the money is because if they deem that they think the charge isn't fraudulent and finding me responsible, they take that money back out of my account.
Oh, yeah. No, it's coming back.
So I'm like, they're quick to take all their money, but they are not very responsive to having to pay me back what they fucked up and what they owe.
No.
So I'm seeing all the big charges come back in, and I still see that the penalty fees have not been reversed. And I said, well, what about all the money you kept taking over from my savings accounts to put into the checking account to cover all of this? Well, when all that gets refunded, you can just move that money back to your savings account. Why can't you move it back when you reverse everything?
They sure are giving you a lot of extra work to do.
Yeah, it's my fault somebody else fucked all this up. They did not, up until, where are we now? Now we're in the next week. Monday of this week, I finally started to see the penalty charges coming back in.
Wow.
Not all of them, but most of them. So I had to call again and said, there's a couple here that still haven't been reversed. What's going on? This is now 2 weeks into this thing. This should not be happening. Finally, by Tuesday, that got reversed. So then I had to go figure out what was deducted. If all of that, my numbers equaled what was back in the bank account. Had to redistribute the money back to savings, to other things, whatever. Took care of all of that. I then I have a new money guy that I'm going to start using, right, for a lot of my investments and stuff. And we were going over stuff, and he says, "Why are you still using this bank?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "I do know." I said, "I don't know," and then I realized I do know, because the bank I originally started with when I was a teenager got bought by a bigger bank. It was a regional bank. Got bought by a bigger bank. That bigger bank eventually got absorbed by the bank that I have now, which is why they have my credit card, because my credit card came from a different bank, but they bought all of that too. And about 15 years ago, a lot of my stocks and such were all through Merrill Lynch, got bought by the same bank. So not by choice, just by time, everything I had financially got absorbed into this one entity. And it's all in-house, technically. But that's why I still had the credit card there. That's why I still had everything else in there, because I just never moved them to another place. Now that is...
Trashitarian also agrees with your new money guy.
What are you doing to get rid of this garbage bank? Well, I'm in the process of doing this. I spoke to somebody when I finalized everything, and I said, look, I had this happen one other time in my life, and it was a long time ago with a Macy's credit card, where I got an alert that there was an enormous charge, and I went in, I logged into the account. They changed my name and the address on the account.
Oh, wow. They went that far.
To an address in Texas, and they bought like $400 or $500 worth of stuff. And so I called the Macy's credit department. They put me through to their fraud department. I explained everything. They looked in there, because I didn't want to change anything in the account. The only thing I changed was the password so that they couldn't go back in and completely steal the account, which I don't understand. They used the credit card, they changed the name and the address, but didn't change the login.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Right? So I went in and I switched the login so that I had access to it, and whoever hacked my account didn't. Macy's goes through. They go, okay, Same thing. But they did it over the phone. We need to do this. Do you authorize, because they recorded everything, do you authorize it, giving us permission to do this? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Once this is done, your credit card is going to be terminated. And we're going to remove the charge. We'll send you a new card. And then when you get the new card, you call up and they go through the process of reestablishing your account. That took like a couple days at most. And the whole thing was I was giving them permission to prosecute this case and take it away from me. I signed over all rights back to Macy's. Like, here you go. They took the case and did what they needed to do. I got my card back and everything else.
Yeah, they made you whole, and now it's on them to do whatever they want to do with it.
It's very simple.
And it's so easy.
That was a department store credit card. Why couldn't the bank, one of the biggest banks in the country, why couldn't they do it? It was this whole mess. So I'm going through the process now of taking things out. So one of my brokerage accounts, I'm in the it takes a few days because you can't just take all your money out. You have to go through stages. They have to issue you a certified check for certain accounts.
Oh, wow.
That gets sent to me. I sign for it that I received it. Then I take that check over to the new bank and put it back in for investments and what have you. They asked me, well, why are you taking everything out? Because they don't want you to lose your business. They try to offer you different rates and incentives and perks and all these things. And it's what I told you, and I'm going to tell the audience what the biggest reason, besides the headache of this fucking bank. It all comes down to the fact that when this was happening and everybody was aware that these were fraudulent charges and I signed all the legal forms and sent it back and everything was confirmed, you nickeled and dimed me to get a new card for my account. Have you just said, we'll overnight your account? We probably would have been in this situation, but I probably wouldn't have been as fast to leave as I was. The fact that you were charging me $20 to replace a card that I didn't lose, that I didn't cause the problem, that you were fully admitting that this was a fraudulent act, you wanted me to buy another card. That's why I'm leaving. The guy.
Sometimes it's the simplest things. Like, you could have probably been okay.
Yeah.
And, your charges, like, maybe everything didn't get reversed right away, but then you would have been like, I understand. Things take time, but the fact that they were like, let's charge you more for your inconvenience and get some, that's honestly what I would have said.
That's like if you're on a car lot, a used car lot, right? And you make a deal for the car with a trade-in and all this stuff there, and they still charge you for the oil change for it. You're like, what? You can't throw in the fucking oil change or the windshield wiper fluid, like something that petty. You couldn't just do it when there's thousands of dollars being exchanged here. You're still going to charge me the $120 for the oil change. That's what this came down to. Right. He went, fuck you, done. The bigger things, yes, were the reasons to do all of this. Charging me to overnight a card to me was the catalyst that was like, I am done with you. So, whatever's left on my credit card with them, somebody was telling me, it's like, just get a different card. Either the bank I'm going to might have their own credit card. I can switch it over for a zero balance, or just switch it over to another card for a zero balance. It's not that much on there, holidays. So, a couple thousand on it. I can, take care of that pretty easily in a decent amount of time. I'll just move it over there and take everything away from them and be done with it. So that's the process I'm in. That drove me nuts. Oh, also that the fact that this shitty company fired a bunch of people on the day they came back from the holidays, and another company fired a bunch of people the Friday before Christmas. So the radio industry can go fuck itself 2 times because of how shitty it's been since August. I also want to point out that convention we were at in San Diego. You were there. Remember some of the panels that they had were showing, like, look at these new younger people. These are the future of the business. These are the ones,
the up and comers.
The up and comers. These are the ones to pay attention to. They're going to be big stars and what have you.
I remember a blue-haired girl. Very nice. I think she was hosting that panel.
Yeah, she's still working though.
Oh, good for her.
What was her? Emily. I forgot her last name, but yeah, she's still working. I think she's in Tennessee. She's still working. Everybody else on that panel has been fired.
Wow.
All of them. big future of all the companies of the industry. These are the people you have to praise and support because they're going to be huge. They were all fired. Almost everybody that was praised in these panels that were young talent or becoming big talent, whatever, all fired. The other panels were all kissing the ass of executives and consultants and everything that are causing all these fucking problems. So, I'm getting alerts that convention's coming around again next summer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I haven't responded to anything, but I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, I can't, in good conscience, go back to this thing. There's people there I like, very nice people. There's a lot of people I'd love to see. But when these kind of things are having panels that are sponsored by these companies, are being run by these companies, and then giving awards and ceremonies to these executives from these companies, I don't want to be part of that anymore.
Right.
Ever again. For how terrible this business has gotten. So bad. And I also want to add, right before Christmas, our old company, SiriusXM, had some sort of, I don't know if it was like a shareholders call or something, but it was giving projections and estimates for the next year, the upcoming year. They had to admit that their profit predictions will not be met for 2025. It won't even come close to what they got for 2024. They also had to reveal that they have to cut about $200 million in the upcoming year. They also had to admit they have nobody young subscribing to their service. Independent research shows that they have nobody under the age of 35 that subscribes or gives a shit about satellite radio. Even if it's in the car, they're not listening to it. So they announced that they are changing their focus on what they're promoting and taking care of. They are not promoting or putting emphasis in streaming anymore. They're shifting their focus back to the core audience that have subscriptions in the car.
Wow.
They're only going to focus about the car subscriptions. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have on-demand content on their app or on the website. They're just not going to be promoting and pushing streaming off the app anymore. Like everywhere else, even iHeart, during the Christmas, they were sending notices to a lot of talents like, hey, you should make a commercial and put it up on your social media about the quote, new and improved iHeartRadio app and talk about the features and everything that they did in there. So it's like, oh, they've absorbed the coding from Spotify as well, just like Sirius did. We're not doing that. A lot of shows I know aren't doing that. Some shows I do know are doing it because they had to. So,
right.
Sirius isn't going to promote that stuff anymore. They're not looking at that stuff. They've got Alex Cooper's thing starting in about a week. Her network of podcasts, and her show, Call Her Daddy, officially is done with Spotify, and they're coming over to Sirius. They spent $120 million on that. They spent $100 million on the Smartless podcast, which, if you're not aware of what that is, it's Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. And the podcast is popular, but I think they peaked in the middle of last year when they did that fundraiser at Radio City Music Hall that was hosted by Stephen Colbert. It was Obama, Clinton, and Biden on stage together. They did a backstage podcast recording before that live event and had Biden on and everything there. But since then, there's been nothing about them. It's still a popular podcast, but they're not getting the press and the attention that they used to.
I forgot they were doing it, to be honest with you.
That was their peak, right? They paid $100 for that. They paid $150 million a couple years ago for Conan. They're paying $100 something for Howard, which Howard's contract's up in September or October of this year. And I've been hearing rumblings that it seems like they're trying to make Alex Cooper the new face of the company.
It would make sense, yeah.
Right? So who knows if Howard stays? And then, Howard always pulls that thing. It's like he doesn't know if he wants to sign another contract, whatever, and then he usually does. But if you follow anything that Howard's been doing or online, stuff like that, they built a bigger studio at his place in the Hamptons. So the guests go out to the Hamptons instead of coming into Manhattan most of the time. He comes in once in a while for a few things. but Robin's never in studio anymore. Gary's never, once in a while in studio. There's no need for that. He might be done.
Yeah.
He's got all the money. He did everything he could. He might just be tired and he might just be done. Go along with that, they need to cut $200 million. That's a sizable chunk of the $200 million they have to cut. Oh, by the way, the day after that call, I forgot about this note. They announced they had to adjust the numbers. They had to add another $75 million. So they got to cut $275 million from their budget. I don't know how this works going forward. I don't know what they're going to cut because they opened up the studio in Miami about a year and a half ago. They still spend money on all these festivals, on this top celebrity talent. It doesn't look good, I think, for the in-house exclusive talent for the company, because if they're paying for all this stuff, who gives a fuck about the low-level shows that are on there? Mm-hmm. They don't need their own thing anymore. iHeart doesn't give a shit about their regional talent or their local talent or whatever. They're syndicating about 5 shows. That's all they care about. And those are going to fill in the gaps everywhere. Everywhere else can be automated, or, some companies are using AI for DJs.
Mm-hmm.
So banking issues, the industry continuing to find new ways to hit lows. That was the holiday.
I was going to say, it seems like everybody's inconvenienced in the worst way, but none so much more than this guy right here.
I know.
I got 2 of the same book for Christmas.
I know.
And let's bring it back. I'm the agreed
shitty gifts, terrible genetics. The guy's just suffering in every direction. It's really
yeah. Let's talk about something uplifting. LA's on fire. What the hell's going on?
Well, before we do that, I keep forgetting to bring the new production. I apologize. I have the production for this, but our segment called "The People Who Died."
Oh God, that's right.
These are the people who died. Done. Okay. Yeah, a bunch of deaths that happened while we were gone. Ricky Henderson, legendary baseball player. Mm-hmm. Oakland A's, New York Yankees. Ricky Henderson always talked in the third person, so Ricky Henderson had to announce that Ricky Henderson had passed away at the age of 65. R.I.P. Ricky Henderson.
Do you have any Ricky Henderson memories? Because I have one that I from an interview that I thought was really funny.
There was always, because he was on when he was playing for New York in the 80s. Yeah, used to see him on, I think it was Channel 11 that carried the Yankees during back then. Just whenever the game was on, and they'd go and they'd speak to the announcers or whatever like that. It was always just funny because Ricky Henderson always talked about Ricky Henderson in the third person. So Ricky Henderson went out there and gave it his all. It wasn't our night tonight, but we just got to get better in the ball. And Ricky Henderson's really working on his ground game, and that's how he would talk, and that was hilarious. My dad was not a Yankees fan, but he did love and enjoy Ricky Henderson news clips that would show up on on Len Berman's Sports for NBC and all that. Ricky Henderson was just a funny guy.
There was one story in particular that I always remember, and I don't remember all the details of who was telling the story. There was this guy, and he was playing whatever position, and he was talking to Ricky Henderson, and he was like, "Hey, having a conversation." Ricky's like, "Oh, your name sounds familiar. I used to play with a guy that, had that last name. That's crazy. Ricky Henderson did all this." And the guy looks at Ricky Henderson just dead in his face and goes, "Ricky, you played with me. That was me you're talking about." And Ricky is just it was one of those things where just Ricky Henderson's off in his own little world where he didn't even recognize the guy.
Wasn't it the guy who wound up going to Chicago?
I think so.
Wasn't it Andre Dawson?
It may have been. But yeah, they were playing on...
No.
I don't remember.
It was either Andre Dawson or Dave Winfield.
It may have been
Winfield. Seems like one of those two I'm remembering this.
Yeah, but he was telling a story I knew a Winfield once. I'm blah, blah, blah. This yeah, dude, it was me.
Ricky Henderson
recognized who he was. It was just such a funny story.
Had the memory of a boxer, but the promoter mentality of Don King.
Yeah.
He's
fast talking, but didn't know any of the details. It was just so good. Ricky
Henderson passed away at the age of 65 while we were gone. Greg Gumbel. You know who Greg Gumbel is?
Sportscaster and star of Gumble to Gumble?
Correct.
Greg Gumbel, Brothers, Bike Cops, Gumble to Gumble, Beach Justice.
Beach Justice. So good. I love this montage. They're not even in it.
Yeah.
You talked to Matt Lauer lately?
Played 18 holes with him on Saturday. Told him he was soft in the Arafat interview. Oh, I like Matt. Me too. Huh.
My purse!
Come on, Greg, let's roll.
This clip is a lot longer than I remembered.
I was going to say, yeah. Oh, that was Greg Gumbel. Oh, my God. Oh, Greg.
Taste that? That's the taste of beach justice.
Okay.
Oh, Greg Gumbel.
That was way too long.
I was going to say.
But anyway,
stop that anytime.
Greg Gumbel, best known as the brother to Bryant Gumbel from NBC's Today Show, and then he had an HBO football show, right? Bryant Gumbel.
Yeah, no, he was. Greg Gumbel was big in the sports world. I think as a non-sports fan in
his
in
brother
football.
Bryant had the Today Show, but then went and did the HBO football stuff, right?
Right. Yes.
Greg Gumbel was part of CBS This Morning, CBS News kind of stuff. And then I think he was doing Showtime sports stuff like football and boxing, whatever. They had parallel careers just for two of the biggest networks. They never worked together, but they might as well have been the same person doing the same thing.
Yeah, one was just slightly like Greg was like the thinner one, and Greg was like the little. Bryant was the thinner one, and Greg was like the little chunkier one. It was just weird.
This is Corn Diff.
Hi, Corn Diff.
Corn Diff is a very nice stalk of corn. Thank you. Congrats on the 500. Go support Corn Diff and his streaming adventures on YouTube. Who else had passed away here? Linda Lavin, star of Alice. Early to rise, early to bed. I forget the next lyric, but it had something to do with the size of her head. There's a new girl in town, and she's feeling good. Like, she would just sing this lavish, I don't know, Linda Lavish.
Linda Lavish
was her stage name. Linda Lavin, singer, entertainer. And remember when you could be an actress and just a singer? Like an Anne
she was
Murray?
on Broadway. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just be like one of these, like, people knew you, but you were never like an A-list star. But you did everything. You covered the bases. Sing, dance, act, perform. Broadway star, the TV show Alice. I don't know if she had any other projects. She might have. I just always
she was
knew her from
actually,
Alice.
I believe, filming like an actual project for one of these streaming services, and they still had 3 episodes to film. Like she died in production. So she was still working.
Okay. Well, she's no longer working. She's gone at the age of 87. So Godspeed to her. Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary. Puff the Magic Dragon. Here's what I didn't know about Peter Yarrow. Convicted pedophile.
Yeah, little thing.
Hooked up with a 14-year-old.
Ooh.
Wound up getting charged. But his sentencing wasn't as bad as what you think it should be.
Right.
Like, he only did like a few months or something like that. He got a pardon by President Carter on his way out. He got pardoned for it. And thus was still allowed to go and perform. But, I mean, I don't remember Peter, Paul, and Mary, even like, you know how like Regis and Kathy Lee would show up at a local theater or something, and they would do like a song and dance and comedy duo kind of thing? Tony Danza used to go and sing the hit parade, that level of stuff. I don't remember if Peter, Paul, and Mary reunited in the 80s after his presidential pardon for sleeping with a 14-year-old.
I was going to say, yeah, he got pardoned in 81, and I don't remember any... You're right. Like, I don't remember like reunion shows. I don't remember like touring. Like, a lot of these older acts like to tour until they're pretty much dead. Like Frankie Valli's pretty much propped up on a
showing
stick.
Up on shows that couldn't compete with Carson. Those kind of places. He passed away at the age of 86 and leads into the big name, former President Jimmy Carter, passed away at the age of 100.
Sheesh.
Luckily, he lived long enough to vote for Kamala Harris. Remember when that was all going around during the election?
Right.
He was
they had him out there just in a chair like that.
Yeah, comatose. It was
he ain't voting.
for a man who did so much good post presidency.
Oh yeah,
To be wheeled out in that photo, I felt horrible for him and his family. His wife died, I think, 2 years ago, and at that age, it's anybody's crapshoot of when people are going to go. But when you're an older couple, more times than not, when one spouse dies, it's not far behind till the other one does.
Well, when she had passed, that was the thought. Like, okay, well, they were both up in age. She passed. There's not much longer for him. He got put into hospice, so you're like, okay, this is it. He lasted like almost an entire year, and I'm just like, okay, I guess he's just waiting.
Yeah. So he passed away.
Yeah.
Now, there's plenty out there on him. There's still all this week. There's funeral. I don't want to call them celebrations, but funeral. I forgot what the term is.
Lying in repose.
Yeah.
Like they were doing like stuff for him today as we're recording Thursday.
At
Had
his parish in Georgia, right?
Yeah. So like Obama was there, Bush,
all the presidents
Jr.
were
was there. A lot of dignitaries, all that stuff. Trump was there. Like there was, a few things.
There's photos and video clips going around the internet where they have like professional lip readers trying to read what Trump and Obama were saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't terrible, but it's like, what are they talking? Like we need
what
to
are they
talk
up
later.
to?
It's something important. It's like, okay,
we got to get out of here. We have to do this outside. Is
right.
One of them I saw. I'm like, ooh,
so
what are we doing?
You saw the Clintons there. You saw the Bushes there. George W. and Laura.
Yeah, Pence
Obama was there
wife.
without Michelle. Trump was there with his wife. In front of them was, and this was interesting, in front of them, and rightfully so because they're currently in office, was Joe and Joe Biden. Next to him, Kamala and what's his name? Doug. It's like a
Limu emo thing.
It's exactly it. It's the Limu emo. It's like Kamala and Doug. Like that's the whole commercial. She was going to sit down. Her husband kind of held her in place and walked around her so he could sit at the end in front of Trump, keeping her away from that.
Yeah.
Which was whatever. I mean, I get it as a husband.
There was a lot of little things like that. Like Pence was shaking hands and doing things, and then his wife wouldn't acknowledge Trump and his wife at all. Like there was just like barely even. I know, but like it was weird to see.
There's
some of
no
that
good
stuff.
people in that whole thing because Pence was an asshole too. I mean, he was. Look, you can say he held to his morals because he was super religious or Christian or whatever like that. I'm saying there are people who do. But when you're that extreme, I have no problem if you live and follow the rules of your religion and that's how you live your life. Not everybody likes that or wants to live that way, but you got to respect somebody if they're following the book for what their faith is. That, yeah, you don't like how they act, but they're following a path they believe is righteous and correct, right?
Sure.
They go too far with some of their religious aspects, and then you're like, I can't fucking stand this. If your religion wasn't such a big identity factor for you, there might be some saving grace for you on all of that. Like Bush. A lot of people don't like George W., obviously, because, the Gulf War stuff. But there is a section of society that goes, he's not that bad now that he's out of office and been gone for a while.
Yeah, time usually heals that.
People have kind of, like, the tide has come back in a little bit on not hating George Bush. They like that he's on whenever he pops up on the Today Show, because his daughter is one of the main anchors of the Today Show. When he pops on there, well received. NBC, very liberal organization. They love when George Bush comes around and her mom comes around and all of that. Anyway, getting to the funeral, the Bidens and the Harrises sitting, or whatever it doesn't matter what his last name is, with sitting there together. It seemed very cold. They were not acknowledging each other.
Emhoff.
And that was being pointed out. But rightfully so, they're all there to pay homage to a former president. Al Gore was there too. Al Gore doesn't look like he's aged. Like his hair is gray, but it doesn't look like he
still looks like Al Gore.
Yeah. I invented the internet. That's all I think of those South
I always
Park
think of
videos.
him showing up to
Man
30
Bear
Rock.
Pig.
Man Bear Pig. I always think of him on 30 Rock where every now and then he'd stop and he goes, a whale needs help, and then he would like run off. I'm like, fuck.
He had the cape on his thing. And go,
yeah, he's got a little cape on.
Run around that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, President Carter, hell of a humanitarian. Started out as a peanut farmer. Somehow through the shuffle became governor. This is another thing I didn't realize about Carter. Became governor in 75. And then announced he's running for president. So he wasn't governor that long.
Right.
Because he took over, he became governor in 75, ran for election in 76, and you don't get into office until, the first month of the odd year. So from 77 to 81, he was the president. He maybe did a year as the governor of the state and became the president. Like that's how fast he leapfrogged and all of this. And it was during a time where, again, there was almost a rift that almost destroyed the Democratic Party because Carter was getting pushed, but then Ted Kennedy was trying to give another Kennedy term in the White House.
Right.
So that was going on forever. And I get fascinated when historical figures pass away, when you start seeing all the footage and the stories come out that you don't know about a lot about these people. And you sit there and go, wow, I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting.
Well, it's like I didn't realize, like in his second day in office after getting elected, he pardoned literally all the Vietnam War draft evaders. Like, that's a big thing on your second day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you haven't even like figured out the paint of the office yet or how you're going to decorate, and he's pardoning people.
Right.
Like that. It's crazy.
And I think at that point, nobody felt that. Like, now if you pardon people that avoided something, people can get upset about it. I think at that point, everybody had come to terms in this country that the Vietnam War was the wrong thing to do. And when he pardoned those people, I don't think anybody was really giving a shit, as far as opposition on it. But I wasn't there. I wasn't there when that happened. So what do I know? I'm making my own assumptions here. So anyway, that is the people who died. Died. The end. Here we go.
You're dead.
Gravestone. All right. Moving on to
Come down. You died.
the big things. We were talking about LA. Only about an hour and a half in, and now we're talking finally about Los Angeles.
Try to shorten the show, Jordan. Okay.
Fires. I know it happens. We had so much going on.
Let's tighten this
we
show
were
up.
off for a couple weeks, so
yeah, you're getting 2 weeks of content, people.
Right. That means next week we can be off.
Yeah, we'll take a day.
I wish that was the case, but that's not the case. So yes, fires in Los Angeles. Now, we all should have some idea of all this going on. It's all over the news. It's all over international news. The fires seem to have started in the Pacific Palisades area, the hills right there, right above
Malibu,
right above the shoreline and what have you. Past that point, I can't figure out where the rest of the fire, because it's not one giant fire. It's giant fires in different sections of Los Angeles. And I'm trying to figure out how that happened, because they don't have an answer as how the Pacific Palisades fire started. Up until the point we started doing this show, I had a couple of different news sources on, and they all are the officials in Los Angeles and federal government are saying the fire is still 0% contained. Zero. They don't have an answer to how it started.
Well, I don't know if they can.
They're making
they haven't got
theories.
anything contained. They can't even check. Like, you can't investigate this because it's an ongoing
There are
problem.
theories how it started. A lot of it, people are pointing to officials for the governor and the mayor of Los Angeles, the governor of California. The governor of California supposedly didn't sign a bill that would allow snow and rain water from the north part of the state, and what are that? I guess it's part of Nevada up there too.
Sierra
the mountains to when it melts all go through like a pipeline going down to give water to Southern California, because Southern California does not have its own natural water, right? So bringing it down there, he wouldn't do it because there was some stupid fish called a smelt that was in a lake that he felt was more important than all of this. So he thought it was an environmental disruption, so he didn't do it. That's being blamed for a lot of things. Also, he never signed a bill to I guess regulate controlled burnings and regular brush clearings and stuff through forest areas and parks and what have you. So that never happened, and there was a lot of that laying around, so they feel that amplified the fires. They don't know if that actually started the fires, but it definitely jump-started them to a massive blaze. There's been fingers pointed at the mayor of Los Angeles because when this happened, she was in Ghana. She wasn't even there, had to rush back while already 2 days into the fires, 3 days into the fires, finally she got back. She cut I think the original amount was supposed to be like $21 or $23 million of funding towards the LA Fire Department, and I guess it got agreed upon $17 million that got cut. A portion of that money was then moved over to illegal immigration, helping with the migrant problem that was going on in California. And then a surplus of supplies for the fire department were sent to the Ukraine. So everyone's tracking this stuff out. Everyone's pointing fingers, which, look, it's going to happen. Whoever's in charge is going to get the blame. Whoever, if it's successful, they get all the credit. It's just the way it happens.
Yep.
So they don't have a definite answer, but they have a lot of theories of what's led to all of this. It burnt fast. There's fires in another area of North Hollywood called the Hearst fires. There's a fire section in the over in Pasadena. I think the other part is to Pasadena is Aladina, I think it's called. In that area, there's fires below, like south of Burbank down there. There's another patch of fires. There was fires up on the hill by the that was approaching the Hollywood sign. There were fires up on Runyon Canyon that's threatening the observatory that's up there.
One of them sparked this afternoon near the Woodland Hills area, like near Calabasas, and they call that the Kenneth Fire.
But nothing's connecting, because some people were saying, well, they had these hurricane level winds, because it's called the Santa Ana winds, which is where it's coming off the Pacific, but because the Rocky Mountains are such a obstacle, they hit the mountains and then go south, and then the mountains curl down and go right back into the ocean. So it's like completing a circle, and it's just it's a wind tunnel at that point.
Yeah, the Santa Anas are crazy.
So they're like, well, the sparks could have spread and to all the other places, starting random fires. But when you were following I watched everything I possibly could. They were tracking the weather maps, the wind patterns. These other fires were not in the path of where these flames would have shot over to randomly launch other fires. It was up until it died down a little bit, was all coming down the coastline and then shooting back into the ocean. So how did all the fires over there start? Now there's investigations that they believe there's an arsonist or a team of people launching fires randomly for all this. And so that leads to more conspiracy theories, like what happened in Maui. They believe the fires were started so that companies could come in and buy the charred landscape for pennies on the dollar for people who've lost everything, and then eventually build it up like a Blackstone. Is it Blackstone? BlackRock. Blackstone was the musician who sold the shitty magic sets when you were a kid. It's like a BlackRock kind of conspiracy. They're coming in to buy up all the land, and at rock bottom prices. Somebody's doing. You're never going to get a straight answer, because that's just the world we live in now. It's like everything leads to conspiracy, leads to finger pointing, and somewhere hopefully the truth lies. We don't know at this point.
Right.
What I do know is that we had mentioned our Hollywood agent Rob Stark was not in the middle of the fires, but in the middle section of where all these random fires on. He's okay. He's fine for now. He sees it in every direction, but like the air quality is shit. So he's been staying in the house. There's not much you can do. We know other people who were in different areas. Some had to leave the Pacific Palisades. Some were leaving Pasadena to go to southern parts of California because they just couldn't stay there anymore. They weren't taking the chance. Like the fires were too close, so they didn't want to be in risk. These are people that have been on this show. These are people that we're friends with. These are people that I've worked with at other companies, acquaintances in the radio and TV industries. All these things coming in.
We figured it out. We actually figured out what's causing it.
It's not that. It's not that. That's the wrong joke. That's the wrong joke. The right joke
She's
is
from Mexico.
what I had on the top of here. It's like, this is what Hollywood gets for booing Hulk Hogan on the premiere of Raw. That was the main conspiracy theory going around, and I was subscribing to it because that's funny. He comes out into L.A., they're all booing him, and the next thing you know, massive fires all throughout Los Angeles.
Now, are you talking it's an act of, God that's causing it, or do you think Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan himself, is out there setting fires?
Hogan's not doing it. He has men. He's got men.
He
sends out like Tugboat and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That's why it is, because they're all in different portions of the map.
Someone sees the anvil out there just lighting shit up.
Jimmy Hart's over in Pasadena. Brutus Beefcake's down, by South Central LA. They're all everywhere. The Nasty Boys set off the Pacific Palisades. It's all a whole
I'm not
work.
saying he's associated with fire, but Kane's out there.
He was the head of the New World Order.
The NWO, the Wolf Pack.
They're coming back. Imagine this all was a fucking wrestling.
They're just promoting Raw on Netflix
to bring back the NWO in a real global capacity. Now that it's on Netflix, we're not just catering to wrestling anymore. We're catering to the world.
Right. We did it.
Yeah, I like the theory. It's like, this is what Hollywood gets for booing Hulk Hogan. I'm subscribing to that, and until proven otherwise, that's what I'm going with. So I know people in TV and radio and stuff who all have had to evacuate and make changes. Some are still holding out and hoping for the best.
I was going to say, I have this on segment 2, but we could bring this up real quick. A number of stars have actually lost their homes.
Right.
Like, not just evacuated, like actually lost. Right now, it's looking like, and here's just a quick rundown. Mandy Moore, Anna Faris, Paris Hilton, Jeff Bridges, Billy Crystal, Spencer and Heidi Montag. Yeah, Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag, Carrie Elwes, James Woods.
We don't
Diane
know
Warren.
about James Woods because he was live tweeting and showing clips that he was evacuating. You could see down the line, you could see the smoke and everything. But I don't know
Ricky Lake.
Yeah, she lost her house.
Record producer Lou Adler, Adam Brody, and Leighton Meester.
Did you mention
Eugene Levy?
That was surprising too.
Yeah.
I don't know if he lost his house. I know he left, but I don't know if Eugene Levy lost his house.
From what I heard, he lost it, but TMZ's reporting on it. They've been reaching out to representatives to get the full story. John Goodman and Anthony Hopkins are the other rounding it out. So
man.
I know, and it's like I love, it sucks for anybody to lose their home, but like, Anthony Hopkins, I watch like Twitter and not Twitter,
I love John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman's great.
This is
what
you say. King Ralph is an excellent movie. Go ahead.
King Ralph's great, but yeah, no, it's
Did
just
you
showing
mention
like
Paris Hilton?
Paris Hilton, yeah.
All right, so there's a clip. Paris Hilton was watching the live news as her house was finding out that her house was gone, right? And she posted that clip. She also posted a thing online talking about, her family's okay, but they lost their house. There's so many memories. Now, as a human, you feel horrible that people are going through this, and you're glad that their family's okay.
Right.
But certain celebrities or certain famous people, because I won't say some of these people are celebrities.
Right.
It's hard to feel any compassion for when their whole career has just been them being pieces of shit, both for their reality shows and in real life, right? Like
You're talking about Mandy Moore. I get it.
I actually like her.
I know, me too.
By the way, I only learned recently she's the voice of Rapunzel in the Disney movie.
Yeah,
my kid started watching that, and I was like, "Oh, that's Mandy Moore."
And
I wasn't aware.
And her house is one of the ones that happened in Altadena. So like, yeah, it's not just like the Pacific Palisades, Malibu area where like some of the richer neighborhoods, like you're hitting some of the, like you said, Altadena and some of those other areas.
A lot of prominent neighborhoods, but you start wondering like, okay, I'm glad they're not dead. I'm glad their family's okay. But they've had histories of being pieces of shit, and like, how sorry am I supposed to feel for them? Now, if you go to the internet hates everybody. They either feel bad for everybody, they love everybody, or they absolutely hate everybody. Paris
It's their time to shine to be dicks.
Paris Hilton's very polarizing. People like her because they just think because she's famous you have to like her. People like her because of all that legal work she was doing about schools or something, boarding schools, the mistreatment in private schools and what have you, and it went to Congress and got bills and laws and stuff passed and everything.
Yeah, she was just in front of Congress.
Commendable.
Within the last 3 months or so.
Commendable and good that she did something with all of that because you saw her in her teens and her 20s. She was a garbage human being.
She really was.
And then people grow, so you got to give the benefit of the doubt. She posts online. Here's what's happening. Family's okay. She has an organization or a group called 1111, which I used to see young girls and influencers and stuff post photos of if they're in their car and the clock said 11:11 and what that was supposed to mean. Oh, it's the wishing hour or something. I still don't fully understand what it means, nor do I care to know the explanation. But she has a company called 1111 that's working with nonprofits and trying to help everything. So I'm reading this whole thing online, and the first comment below it had me laughing because it was our pal Cardiff Electric.
Okay? Of course it is.
And is this not? It's not showing it. Hold on. I got to turn the other thing off. Turn that off there. Okay, so Cardiff's thing here, she says this whole thing. Now on the bottom, if you can't read it, he wrote, she's pouring her heart out about, her family's okay. They lost their stuff. They're heartbroken, but they want to help people, and she feels terrible for everybody else is losing their stuff. Cardiff at the bottom.
It's really a nice post, yes.
Writes, "That's hot?" with a question mark. It's like that fucking potato.
Goddamn potato.
He's always on. So
funny.
Bravo to you, my pal.
Yeah, that's a good
one. That was very funny. You got to find the funny moments through all this stuff. Otherwise, you're just going to die inside. Anyway, so that was going on. Let's talk about some of the people who were affected with this. I'm not going to get into unknown people that I've worked with or what have you, because that's not my job to put their business on the air unless they asked us to, or needed help for something. But the celebrities that put stuff out there. We had people that had been on this show, acquaintances or friends, what have you. Mm-hmm. Do you remember? You weren't on the show when we had this guy on.
No, but I knew he did show up. I know of him because of that.
His name is Chris Gore. He currently he does movie stuff, movie reviews, commentary. He does a lot of stuff with Nerdrotic. I think back in the day he was doing stuff with G4 when that was on NBC, or an NBC owned that network. And Chris has done our show several times. Always been very nice and a cool guy. Chris is in the Pasadena area. And he put this video out here the day all the fires were really going on. Now, in this video, you don't see the fires, but it's pitch black because of the smoke, and you can see the hurricane-style winds. Take a look at this here. This is his backyard.
Wow.
This tree sounds like it's about to go. Holy shit.
Look, they're just bending in half.
Yeah. It's like we're watching the hurricane footage from the summer.
Yeah.
It's
down in Florida.
I've never seen anything like this in all my years in California, so holy cow. Monster storm.
And this is
shit. Oh shit.
You could hear it.
Yeah. This is right before people really fully understood the effects of what was happening with the fire.
Right.
So anyway, yeah. A little bit here, yeah. So he had this happening. Now, today he did somebody else's, this guy, I forgot his name, but it's called The Benny Show. And he did this podcast giving an update of what was happening. Did he evacuate? What was going on? Check this out.
Chris, I just want to check in. Are you still evacuated? Are you and your family safe in your home?
Yeah, everyone's safe. I was told to evacuate to a convention center 3 blocks from where I live. So I'm still here. But the water in Pasadena is contaminated, not useful. and the air quality is the worst. So I am headed to Orange County right after this. So get away from LA.
Okay. So you can't drink the water and you can't breathe the air.
No, not where I am currently. Yeah. And no end in sight. So we'll see.
Yeah. He's evacuating his place. Even if your place misses the fire, it's unlivable.
Yeah, there's nothing to drink. I mean, I'm sure like any major disaster, hurricane, whatever, all the stores have been ransacked. I mean, there's going to be nothing you can do other than just get out of there.
Right. So that's from what I heard, Chris. He left. He's staying, I think, with friends or something like that. So I'll keep an eye on what's happening with him.
What's crazy, if you go to Google Maps right now and you zoom in on the LA area, Google Maps has actually put on their maps where these fires are located. And I'm looking at it right now, and you're right. It's this almost like this just circle area of where the maps are. So you got the Hearst fire in the most northern part of like San Fernando Valley. And then Kenneth fire to the far left. Palisades is set down near like between Malibu and Santa Monica. And then you got the Sunset fire, and then the Eaton fire is the most.
Where are you see? I'm looking at Google Maps. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So if you go to Google Maps and you go over to the LA area, they're showing little fire
I'm
symbols.
on Google Maps. I typed in Los Angeles.
That's so weird. Yeah, it's showing.
Oh
online.
wait, is it these red dotted lines?
Maybe. Like how zoomed in are you?
As soon as you zoom in, it disappears.
That's weird. But yeah, it's I'll see if I can get a picture for everybody. But yeah, it's crazy that
click
they're
here,
showing that.
Palisades fire. Oh, this is zooming in. Whoa, they're like they must have just updated like their Google Earth shots.
Mm-hmm.
Because the mountainside just looks charred, like it looks black. Wow,
crazy, right?
Yeah, this whole area here. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Yeah, because if you zoom in really well, you can really see the size of how it's looking, like where everything is being charred and the scope of how big these fires really are.
Look at that.
Yeah, that whole red area is the Palisades fire. Like that's what's being affected right now, either on fire or in the area that you're not
there's the Pasadena, Altadena area.
Yeah, fire, yeah.
Somewhere up here was the Hearst fires.
Hearst fire is up near the San Fernando. Go to San Fernando, so it's up there. Yeah, right. Zoom in right there. So right, sir, it should say San Fernando. You zoom in a little more. It's very small. It's not going to have that same footprint that you're seeing with Eaton and the Palisades, but yeah, it's up in that area.
Okay. Zoom back out a little bit here. But you
see, like I said, Kenneth fires to the far left, but just north of like Topanga and the Palisades.
But you see,
it's nuts.
The fires are not connecting because when they were here, the winds, they were showing you the winds come down. Can you see my mouse on that? You can. Yes. The winds were coming down this way. So it was starting up at the top, like in the mountains, and pushing the fire down almost like a landslide. Right. Mm-hmm. So it was just like a fire landslide coming down into the coastal areas here, burning everything into the ocean. How the hell did this start? It wasn't the wind took embers and landed in here. And so that, like, if it was in the wind path, you would see how these things would round. Up here was a fire. I think somewhere down here, it might be too small for them to do it. Was an issue. And then over by the Hollywood sign, like leading into that part of the mountain range, that was a problem. Jesus Christ.
It's nuts.
Yeah. All right. So that was Chris Gore's take on here. Then our pal Kevin Smith had to evacuate his house because where he lives is by Runyon Canyon, and just below that is the valley where Hollywood and all. And he wound up leaving. Let's see if I can. There's only a small piece of footage in here. He wound up, as they were evacuating, they got in the car. He got out of the car, got out, took some footage of the fire on the top of the mountain before they left. And he thought that he wasn't going to have a house to come back to, that it was all gone. And I'll let him tell the rest here. But look at that. That's his driveway right there on the left. But you're just looking up there's the mountain, and you see that.
That's so close.
That's something like out of a horror movie, like a meteor landed there, or volcanoes blowing up, or something. Yeah. All right. You saw that there.
I ain't never seen anything like it in my life. A wall of flame. When I pulled away from this house, I turned around, shot footage, and I was like, that's it. Like, unbelievable. And those firefighters saved our home, saved our neighborhood. I cannot thank those cats enough. My heart goes out to everybody who's been adversely affected by this. Hang in there, kids. I don't know that it's over yet, but so far, I don't smell any smoke. I don't see any flames. And that's because the LA Fire Department, all the help they've gotten. Thank you so much from me, from Jen, from the dogs. Harley, she don't live here, but she's safe too. Thank you.
Yeah, he was telling like, hey, like, you know, they literally like are angels from above, like literally like they were flying planes over that area where his house is and just dropping water from whatever reservoir. People's pools were being just drained so they can just drop it on these things. Yeah, it's nuts, man.
I didn't pull this.
It's not even done. Like, it's just that we're literally in the middle of it. They're doing,
well, yeah. So
updates like crazy.
Apparently,
right now.
the winds died down, right? So
yeah,
they were showing the high and low pressure systems, what was causing the winds and stuff. Low pressure systems gone, high pressure systems in there right now, so it's not moving. The winds are calm. Look, this episode's out on Friday, so the next day, Saturday, there's another low system coming down, and they're going to get those winds again.
Yeah, the
So
Santa Ana,
they're
having.
This is essentially, if you've been through a hurricane, this is the eye of the storm. You had the rough part there beginning. The eye comes over. It's very calm, but you know there's that wall coming in. All right, Fortnite. For those of you who play Fortnite or any kind of,
now you got me.
Or
Let's
any
do
kind
this.
of battle royale game where it's rush to the center, be the first one to survive. You have that circle that squeezes in because on the other side is the storm. That's essentially what this situation is happening here. Now, not a lot of celebrities are out there talking about this stuff. A couple, Chris and Kevin, they made mentions, what have you. Our new friend who does the Are You Hungry videos, right? I'm trying to get him on, but he's dealing with some because he lives out there right now. Put out a video. He did a little makeshift cooking video where he made these high-end sandwiches. He made about 100 sandwiches and wrapped them all up, threw them. And he goes, I feel bad. They're in garbage bags because he had no way to carry them. But he had these big sandwiches all in tin foil, all in these garbage bags, loaded in his car, and then was documenting as he was trying to get through checkpoints because he wanted to donate sandwiches to the fire departments and the ambulance people out there. So, like, he didn't show the footage of the fires. He didn't show the footage of the people he was talking to until a little bit later. It was always on him, and you hear him talking with people, and he's like, they're like, you can't go through there. And he goes, I know. And he goes, but he's like, I have a whole bunch of food and stuff in the back. And he's like, all I just want to do is give it to like the police chief or whoever's in charge at the moment, give it to them so they have it to give to these guys. That's all I want to do. They let him through. He's handing out sandwiches to everybody. One guy, even one of the fire guys recognized him. So, he showed that a little bit, but he did something nice. And he goes, yeah, this isn't what I normally do. And he goes, but this isn't normal times. Do something nice. Like, he went into his character, but doing something nice. You're seeing a lot of those things, people posting resources and numbers and what have you. So I'm like,
the way the internet's painting this is that everyone's going to attack everybody else. People are either upset that it's all happening to like celebrities. Everyone's trying to make it political. And right now is not the time for that. Right now is just trying to figure this out, let it, get taken care of. And then when you need to point fingers, you can point fingers, and then we can solve this later. But it's just ridiculous how quickly everyone's so quick to be just negative and just put so much vitriol out there. And it's kind of like, stay off the internet. Like, just got to stay off.
So, I'm thinking this is all well and good. And then right before the show, you tell me and go, hey, did you see the Whitney Cummings video? I said, no, I did not. What happened? And he's like, well, she put out a video. She's upset. She's going to lose her, her house and everything. I go, all right, that's what happened. And he goes, yeah, but it's not being well received by people because of what she's concerned about. Oh, okay. That's as far as I know, is what you told me. I have the video here. I have not watched this. I'm watching it for the first time. You've seen this. Is there anything else that I'm not explaining here?
No, that's perfect. Like, yeah, she was near one of the fire. I don't know which fire she's close to.
Right.
But she is very concerned. I mean, she's
maybe one of
very
those in Los Angeles.
Emotional. Yeah, she's between one of the first, 5 fires. But yeah, she's in the middle of about to evacuate her residence here, and she's very emotional. And yeah, she kind of walks you through it. So
okay.
So I am evacuating my home.
It helps to have captions, by the way. I appreciate her at least.
It really
that.
does. Yes.
Now, if she didn't grammar or spell check the captions, that I hate because that's lazy. People put their videos through those programs, and they're like, they didn't say that. That's not the words that are showing up on the screen here. And then everyone, when you complain about it in the comments, people goes, it's not that big a deal. Yes, it is. It really is. It's terrible. All right, continuing on.
It's so hard to leave the podcast studio behind. I know that's sounds insane, but I have everything, like my son's birth certificate, but just to leave all this, podcast studio is such a big deal to me because it connected me to so many of you guys. And just to give you an idea, this is the podcast studio, and then I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, there's
so yeah, you can see the fires, you can smoke.
Close,
All right, hang on. Other people have talked, James Woods talked about, he's going to lose his house and he's not happy and everything, but he's not sitting there crying on the screen. Even if he was, I think people would be compassionate about it and saying, Jesus Christ, the guy's going to lose his house. Everybody would be devastated if you're going to lose everything you've worked for and you own and what have you. He's not even worried about the house. The podcast studio is the big concern.
The throwaway was I've got my son's birth certificate. Sure, I've got all the things that are important, but man, I'm really bummed out. I'm about to lose this podcast studio.
Adam Carolla, and I know it wasn't him. He has a team for the Adam Carolla show, whatever, posted a photo. He had to set up. He got evacuated. He set up in a hotel because he still has a show to put out. Sure. So he was doing his show, live streaming from him sitting at a little table in his hotel room doing this. Mm-hmm. Like how we do when we do live events, stuff like that. It's fun once in a while when you don't do it normally.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, you turn on the microphones, you have a camera. It's what you do in that situation. He's talking about his experiences of trying to be a fireman, how he got shut out from being a fireman. He had to wait 7 years to take the test. All that. And by the way, people who were giving him shit about that, I guess it was fact checked and it turned out to be 100% true.
Yeah.
What he was saying, that he had to wait 7 years, but other people who were not as qualified or fit a certain demographic got to apply that week. So he's complaining about that, which led into, mishandling it by the local and the state government levels. He went to go look at something. There was fire damage all around. He goes, this photo here is 300 feet from my podcast studio.
Right.
He was showing the damage. Now, anybody who has these nice, posh studios, I'm sure you'd be upset that you'd lose it, but
sure. I mean, these things can get expensive.
Yeah, I get that. But he's showing the damage. He's like, this was near my studio and everything there. It's devastating. You don't come off crying like this, my kid's going to lose their house or that kind of thing. You're going to lose your podcast studio. Now, that might not have been the intent of how she's saying this, but it definitely, I see what you're saying, how people can look at this and this is coming off.
Oh, they were raking her over the coals over this.
Right.
Because it kind of sounds like she's not crying. She's kind of doing that fake, I'm really sad about this, but there's no tears. Her eyes look red, but obviously she's going through some stuff. I get it. I'm not taking away from the fact that, this is an important thing. This is happening.
Right.
There's a lot going on, but you're making this entire video about your podcast studio. I know.
Which, by the way, she stole or she bought Monica's kitchen from Friends, because that's what that whole background looks like there. Look at that. Well, yeah. It doesn't look like she's in Monica's kitchen.
Yeah, well, she hosts that Friends game show on Max, I think. So, I get it.
It's such a big deal to me.
But here's the thing, you're losing a studio. Sure, a microphone isn't that expensive. You can do this anywhere. I hate to pull back the curtain. It doesn't take much to do a podcast nowadays. So she could still do this at any point with the cheapest of equipment and still put out a quality product if she does it right. this is such a it's such a weird thing to focus on in this video and make such a big deal.
Right.
Like it really is.
All right, continuing on.
To me, to so many of you guys, and just to give you an idea, like this is the podcast studio, and then
this is the podcast studio. Remember when I had the hook to a girl here? Remember we all enjoyed that episode? This is where it happened.
And I was so connected to you guys.
Look at my window. There's a mountain sign.
Terrible.
Fluffy white clouds.
I know.
So it's pretty close, you know. I don't know what I'm gonna lose, but it's like weirdly, like you really find out what matters to you when you have to evacuate. I'm not taking the camera.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
You find out what matters to you?
Right.
You know what? All right. I would get upset with, right? If she's talking about find out what matters to you. Even a house is something to be upset about. A house, your home, you have every right to say it's not just material things. It's your home.
Right.
It's not like you had a bad car accident, but you're happy your family survived. These are material things. That that line.
I lost my 90 Civic.
The material things. We can get another car. We can do all this stuff. You can't get another house that easy, right? So this is one of those situations, where you're like, I don't know what we're going to do. You're going to be displaced. Would you become homeless? You don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in your house and you go, you understand what really is important, it hits you, the things that matter to you. If you had pointed to like the door frame,
old family photos that are not you can't duplicate because you don't have digital copies of.
But besides, I mean, you could take those photos with you, right?
Sure,
but if you're looking at your house and you say, like at a door frame, you go, look at this. This is where my kid grew up, and you have the notches for the years and everything like that. If you were telling a story like that, that hits at home. Anyone can relate to that, and you go, oh my God. And he's like, I don't want to lose my house. Yeah, nobody wants to lose their house. You get it. You're talking about, if I said, we're going to have to evacuate my glowing Slimer over there. Like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to replace that thing there. My $1 million belt.
They don't sell those anymore.
Yeah. What am I going to do? I mean, we just got the studio to... look, by the way, I didn't talk about the new studio because it's not fully done yet, but there's more coming to fix in there. But it's just like... It's like putting out here, it's like... That Back to the Future poster that's signed by the entire cast. You don't know how long it took me to get the entire cast to sign that entire poster. Well, you can take that with you. You could rebuild all this stuff. You're crying about your podcast studio. None of that is something anybody can relate to.
Well, here's a quote from Billy Crystal, who has lost his home.
Right.
He goes, Janice, his wife, and I have lived in our home since 1979. We've raised our children and grandchildren here. Every inch of our house was filled with love, beautiful memories that can't be taken away. We're heartbroken, of course, but with our love of our children and friends, we'll get through this. That is a legit emotional response to losing your home that you've had for, I'm 45 years of making memories with family, your children, your grandchildren, all your memory, everything's gone. And she's talking about her podcast studio.
I've been doing this for 2 years.
She's talking about a $400 microphone. It's not a good look. I know she probably is meaning well, and she's emotional, and this is her first response to that. It is the worst look.
Yeah.
Just the worst.
But it's like weirdly, like you really find out what matters to you when.
That line is the biggest problem.
It hurts.
So
really
far.
hurts.
I mean, we still got a little bit more to go. I don't know what else she says.
Right.
You really find what means. Wait, let me get it again.
Weirdly, like you really find out what matters to you when.
Find out what matters to you.
You have to evacuate. I'm not taking the camera.
To evacuate. I'm not taking the cameras.
First thing she says.
Now imagine that's the typo. It's really camels is what she said. She has 4 camels in the back there. It's like, look, that's unnecessary, but I would be upset if the camels died from a fire.
Well, yeah, she has to bring the camels to replace her brother's car.
Right.
She's Sala from Indiana Jones.
Taking little trinkets and like stuff that you guys gave me.
All the little tchotchkes that are in the back wall here.
Stuff that you guys gave me.
The stuff you
Not
guys gave me?
My son drew this picture in first grade.
No.
Fuck that. I need this, like you said, a Slimer that glows in the dark.
Yeah, something like
at shows and
my door of radio station bumper stickers. I can't take that with me.
She's carrying a door bumper sticker. She got it off the hinges.
It's got old punk bands. I'll never get another No Effects sticker like that.
You know how hard it is to get the CBGB t-shirts?
You know, the coexist thing by the doorknob, the Bad Religion sticker on both sides of the door.
Look,
to cover where my boyfriend punched the door in anger.
Blinky.
Yeah.
And this Duff can. That's it.
All right, fire's coming near you. How many Lego sets are you running out with before you realize that your son's still sitting there playing the Switch?
You know how expensive Rivendell was? Come on. Of course I'm going to grab that first. And it comes in 3 parts, so I can have each kid grab a section. Run out with like Rivendell Legos.
Oh, Giddles is here. I'd run out of my apartment with George, his cat, and that old-timey Western photo of me.
But see, here's the thing.
What about the big ice cream Carvel light that you had? Are you going to run out with that?
No, that was just trash. But here's the thing. If Giddles' house burns down, God forbid, you know how much meat he probably has stored in his fridge? It's going to be the best smelling neighborhood in history. Like, God forbid. Sorry, Giddles, but your place goes down. I want it.
Greenpoint Lane. Greenpoint. Hold on. Greenpoint. The news is saying Greenpoint, Brooklyn lays in ruins, but has never smelt better.
It's never smelled
right now. Yes, the charred remains gives it that smokiness to all those charred pieces of meat everywhere. Some were butchered, some were animals, some were just people who didn't leave their apartments.
The homeless people under the bridge.
It looks terrible, but smells mouthwatering. Erik Nagel, Channel 2 News, ever. Greenpoint, Brooklyn.
Smells like Wagyu.
Man, Williamsburg smells like Wagyu.
Oh, it smells so good. It's the biggest, best barbecue.
Gabby's saying Paris Hilton just posted a video of Instagram her going through her burn. That's
yeah. I mean, you don't.
It's all right.
It's like yes, you hate these people in certain cases, but you still feel bad.
This walks a line too. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but this walks a line where all right, we know you're devastated. These horrible things. Do you really need to go and walk through and show the remains of your life at this location? She has other locations, so she's not going to be homeless. But
this early on, like this, maybe not so much.
I haven't watched it, but this seems a bit like, okay, now you're doing it for attention.
Yeah, like let's move on and sort your stuff out, and then maybe whatever.
It's not like you're back at your house. Oh no, she said there's corny background music. All right. Now
you have to look at it.
We'll look at it later and just say this was desperately for likes and views and whatever. But it's not like if you went back to your house to see the charred remains or whatever is there, and there just happened to be news crews or paparazzi and they come over to talk to you. I wasn't giving a guided tour of what was left of my home. They happened to catch me while here. And if you see them upset going through the room, that's different. When you're shooting it with your fucking iPhone and you're going like this was once my bedroom,
Yeah.
Or however she's doing it. I'll give the benefit of the doubt, but from these early descriptions, it doesn't sound promising.
I was going to say Spencer Pratt did one where he was walking around. He's like, you just lost your house in a fire. Your family's lost their houses in their fire. Of course, what do you got to do? You got to get bagels. And he's showing a bagel bag. And he goes, of course, I'm devastated. I'm not processing. And I'm like, dude, you shouldn't have posted this. Like, stop being a douchebag.
He really did that? I thought you were 100%. Riffing.
No, he did it.
Oh fuck! I never liked him.
He opened a bag and he's got a bag of bagels and schmear and all this stuff.
What was this TV show they were from? The OC?
I don't remember.
It was an MTV show.
I never watched any of that shit.
No, I didn't watch it, but I knew he was from.
No, I know. I didn't. But yeah, it was bad. Ugh. He did that. The one thing I did see before we go more into her is Steve Guttenberg is out there.
I saw the clip of him trying to get into cars to move them off the highway.
So yeah, he's trying to move cars out of the road and the highway to help the fire officials do that. Really great thing. A news crew came up to him and interviewed, and they walk up to him and go, "Sir, can I get your name, please?" And he goes, "Steve Guttenberg." And he goes, "Do you live around here? Or you do?" The guy interviewing him had no idea who Steve Guttenberg was.
That's
and I was
fine.
like, fuck it. I know, but that kind of sucks. Like, it's Steve Guttenberg.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's like,
but here's the thing. He wasn't doing a press tour. He was doing something nice and humane. If they didn't know who he is, who the fuck cares? Leave the guy alone.
It just felt weird.
Now, if they were talking to somebody, hold on. If they were talking to somebody else and Steve Guttenberg's over there moving cars,
in the
talking to that, That's what I'm saying. The car goes up on two wheels, like in the first Police Academy, when he's driving in the parking lot and slides it in between the two cars. Now, if that happened, fucking Steve Guttenberg is a legend.
Greatest. But yeah, he was just telling people to, if you're going to abandon your car, we get it. Leave the keys in there so we can move it out of the way for fire officials. He's doing a great thing. Like, that is the complete opposite of like, this is my house, it burnt down, or talking about your podcast studio. So yeah. You're getting a really wide spectrum of like the celebrity or just the people affected and how they're reacting to it.
All right,
I'll find that Spencer Pratt video and I'll send it over to you later.
Let's continue with Whitney here.
Oh, she's squeezing the tears out. Hold on. Well, except she's not. Like, she's not even squeezing tears out.
To be fair, she's had an enormous amount of plastic surgery. She might not be able to.
She can't get them out of her tear ducts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, that was not very well received. People were really kind of, because I think she posted this on TikTok, and of course, people were not too happy with that take on what she's going to be losing in this fire if it does indeed get to her house. Like, come on, man.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to see if I can find. Oh, all right. I found the video.
Of which one?
Of Paris Hilton.
Yeah, I was looking at it now.
All right, I'm trying to just grab it quick because I hate bringing up the Instagram interface on this stuff here. See if I can just yank it down off of there real quick.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough. But
okay, I think I got it here. Let's see if we can bring it up.
Here's a terrible. Okay, while you're doing that, go ahead.
I got it. Here it is.
Like, you had to put the music on. Come on.
Yeah. And if this is even her doing it, what if this is an assistant or somebody she sent out there to do this?
Like, from what I could tell, can you go back just a smidge? Okay, try going from there real quick. She's panning over. The house is still on fire.
Yeah, it's still smoldering.
How did she get this footage? Most times they won't let you close to this stuff if they think a flare-up could happen.
Right.
I don't think she took
this is fucking tone deaf and terrible too.
That is so stupid.
Gittle's saying it's still worth more than my current apartment. That is
You're not wrong.
That is a fair
the land
point.
alone is probably worth most people's houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went too far, and I think that you're going to start losing any kind of sympathy by posting.
The worst part about her Instagram thing is that you find this video posted 22 minutes ago, and it's sad, but because of the way the algorithm works, you scroll up and you're getting a post from the 20th saying legislation is hot. And I'm like, oh, I thought she just posted it, like, or someone posted it right after until I saw the date. I'm like, God, you really just don't know how to do social media, do you? But yeah, it is. It's I don't know. Shouldn't have posted that with the weird music. And again, I saw fire. There's no way they're letting you over there.
Right.
I don't know how you got that footage. She didn't take that.
All right. Celebrity stuff aside, let's look at the actual events and what's happening here. Here's a video that I got of up one of the many mountainsides of Los Angeles, giving you a scenic view of the fire. It looks like a movie poster or a movie trailer, the way this is, but it's actual footage here. Take a look at this.
Oh, look at the sky. That is nuts.
This is Tom LeBon?
Yeah, he was in a Blink-182 cover band.
Right. This is where the aliens would come down and meet him. Panorama. So this was like a scenic viewpoint.
Sure.
Named after somebody. And picnic tables, benches. Look at that. That's the main skyscrapers from Los Angeles.
I could Photoshop one of those like Independence Day video, like spaceships right in the top there.
Yeah.
Because that's what that looks like right now.
Go back a little bit. Look at this right here.
And it's just, it opens up.
No, but I mean, just look at the charred.
Mm-hmm.
cityscapes over there.
That air quality is gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was seeing people rescuing animals and horses and just trying to get them out of there. Like, it is ridiculous.
But see, look, fire over here.
Mhm.
Go back a little bit. Fire over there, not connected. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Terrible. All right, so there's that. And then some videos started popping up online yesterday. People still stuck in their houses.
Mm-hmm.
This is a video of a guy stuck in the house with his dog.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, I've
You
seen
saw
this one. This
okay,
was
look
rough.
at this here.
Like, you're getting cooked alive. Like, what is this? And he's trapped. He can't go anywhere.
Hi. Just be okay. You're gonna be okay. Hi.
Oh.
You're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna pet that dog.
Oh shit. Don't worry about that, dude. Look at that.
But it's one thing with the flames, digging back here a bit. Just look at the wind accelerate this.
Like a tornado of fire right next to him.
Listen right here as a wind gust comes in.
Look at that. Oh shit.
Wow.
Scary, fuck. Yeah. God. The plastic is gone, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck. Look at.
It's insane. Like you can't see anything in any direction except black smoke or flames.
Right. Yeah, and you can't go anywhere. Can't leave.
Yeah.
So, where's the gas? Outside. Okay, the gas is off right now.
He has a grill over there. Unless it's hooked into the gas line, how are the propane tanks not exploded?
No, don't open the window. Don't open. Don't open anything. Just stay over here. Fuck.
And it's
a nice place.
Yeah. It is. No, well, I don't know. When you add it, okay, so like that sucks. That's scary. Like that is crazy footage. The second I saw that dog, it instantly reeled me into being like, I'm so concerned about this man and his dog's welfare.
Well, I have an update.
And it's just crazy.
They did manage to get out the front.
Good.
There was just like a little gap of time that they could get out, and they did get rescued.
Oh,
so
okay, good.
I don't think their house survived, obviously, but from what I understand, the two guys there and the dog managed to get out, and they were rescued. So,
wow.
All right, here's some other footage that I have of LA.
All right, dude. Yeah, let's get out of here. We tried, bro. I'm sorry. We tried our best.
I mean, at least the fire alarms are
When
working.
this tree falls, it's over.
Now look
at
at
all
this.
that. Like it's
like snow, but just
It's
fire
fire.
embers everywhere. Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Wait a minute. Was he trying to lock the door?
Priorities, Bill.
I'm trying to prevent looting. The wall is missing on the left side of the house. They're gonna get in there. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, bro.
Look at the trees. They look like when you're in like posh restaurants or certain parts of a city when they decorate the base of a palm tree going up into the leaves. Where they decorate everything but the leaves.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like. Look at that.
Gotta get out of here.
Like the trees are on fire next to you, dude. Look at that.
If that tree falls.
Oh, all right. That was the end of that one there. Let's see what else I have here. So, I have some photos to show you.
I'm looking at real-time photos while we talk, and it's just some of this stuff is insanity. They're saying that the Palisades fire, the size of the fire itself is about the size of Providence, Rhode Island.
I have some helicopter aerial footage to show you the devastation during the day after the fires were either burnt out or put out on that. But we're going to get to that in a moment here. This is an early photo of the fires in Pasadena. Sorry, not Pasadena, Pacific Palisades. tore through there, tore through Malibu, and then the next stop is Santa Monica.
Right. Yeah.
And if you don't know Santa Monica, it's not just the dumb Everclear song, but it's also the place with the giant pier that has been replicated in movies. GTA, in GTA 5, you go to the beach, that pier is the Santa Monica Pier. Look at this.
Yeah. I think I saw an alternate view of this where you could see how red and the fire was behind it, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
I got some random photos here just as they were coming in.
You on vacation.
Yeah.
Just random.
Yeah.
We're going to pepper them in. We're going to lighten the mood.
Enjoying an iced tea on the balcony of my Disney cruise.
Us in San Diego, I'm putting like sunscreen on your back.
And I wasn't even awake. I didn't know you did that. All right, Here we go. Look at this. It's like fire tornadoes and wind happening at the same time. This is an aerial shot somebody took from a plane as it was coming to land into Los Angeles. That's
I was going to say, that's the other thing I haven't heard a lot of. Are are they canceling flights into LA, or how are they handling the air traffic? I don't know if the
flights are canceled, but I do know from many people that I know out there who have had to evacuate or what have you, but also the news too. There's been an enormous amount of properties destroyed, schools, churches, synagogues, restaurants, shopping complexes, all of that stuff gone. These other areas, all of Los Angeles has canceled schools for the rest of the week.
To make it all about Arizona, because we always have to get our spotlight here when natural disasters happen.
We're gonna light the canyon on fire.
We're gonna light the Grand Canyon
with gas. It's just going to be a big pool of gasoline as they burn.
We're putting a giant grate over the top, and we're going to grill meat on the canyon as the fires go up.
And they're selling shirts. It's like, you will see this from space.
Right.
Yeah.
The Vikings-Rams game that was supposed to be played Monday night over at SoFi in Inglewood,
they're moving.
They officially said they're moving it. So Arizona is going to be hosting the Vikings-Ram wildcard game this week. They did that years ago.
Do you think people that have tickets local in Los Angeles are going to travel to to Phoenix to watch the game?
They might,
or they might open it up to local ticket buyers because they know they're not going to get the fans from either place coming in for this.
They are opening up ticket sales as of Saturday, so I think anyone who's had tickets are probably getting refunded, especially season ticket holders, things like that. This is slightly different. So a number of years back, it's probably been 10 years since then, there was a Monday night football game scheduled when the Chargers were down in San Diego. And then San Diego were having issues with fire and stuff like that. So they did the same thing. They moved that game, the Monday night game between, I think it was the Chargers and the Dolphins, to Arizona State University Stadium back when the Cardinals were playing there. And they just gave tickets away. I went and saw a Monday night football game for free because I worked close by and I just walked in.
Yeah.
They just didn't even charge. The fact that they're charging, they're going to open up ticket sales kind of feels shitty, but so they moved it here to Arizona. That'll be played here between the Vikings and the Rams because Inglewood is right there at just the tip of the Palisades fire. So they're worried that it's going to cause issues, obviously air quality, and you can't really travel in. They're not going to host that kind of traffic. So again, Arizona has to be a part of the narrative. You're welcome, everybody.
They certainly do. So we're going to, that was the Paris video. Get rid of that. This is a guy, he was going through, you see a lot about the footage from the Malibu Pacific Palisades fires. This guy went through Pasadena and Altadena, showing the destruction in that portion of the area. Now, he had a long video, and a lot of it was just his commentary of whatever he saw, and a lot of it was just unnecessarily... I don't know. It was just unnecessary, It just wasn't needed. So I chopped it down a whole lot so we can take a look at what he saw as he was just driving around.
Completely uprooted.
That's the Rose Bowl, first off, by the way.
Oh, wow,
the whole area around the Pasadena Rose Bowl was...
Look at that tree completely uprooted. That is insane. Oh, are you kidding me?
That looks like some kind of...
That's a whole community.
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic thing.
Yeah, the smoldering is always creepy, especially during the day. Because it's like it should be a lot brighter out, and it's not. It looks like you got that snow weather happening, and it's just charred remains and smoke.
We got N95 masks today, ladies and gentlemen, so we're a little safer, but it still smells terrible. Looks like a whole community here got burnt to a crisp. Luckily, these houses over here are unscathed, but
the cars melted is always so eerie.
I know.
Skip through a little bit.
Just like 30 minutes ago. We're right around the block, but we're just assessing the damage here in Altadena. It's pretty damn bad.
Yeah.
Oh no. Dude, this whole block got leveled, dude.
Yeah, Californians are not great for commentary.
Yeah.
Should we just mute him?
There's a chipmunk.
Okay, we'll just.
I mean,
mute
why
him.
not?
Yeah, I can't take him on. Dude, gnarly. Whoa.
Bruh. Yeah, you're seeing
Look at
like
this.
just whole.
He drove.
Is this it was an Aldi, yeah. It's a grocery store.
Yeah,
it's
but
all gone.
Look at this.
I've seen this kind of devastation when I was driving through Kansas once after a tornado hit. So like you see the facade here, the front area, everything looks normal, and then that whole back
the
end.
roof in the back. It looks like an old
movie
studio lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at
Completely
this.
gutted.
Again, open driving, and there's still active fire. Look, that tractor. The
tractor's
truck,
still on fire. Yeah.
Look at that. Jesus,
That is just.
Yeah, look at all that.
Just out there with a water bottle trying to put it. Yeah, like it's still on fire. Like how? I understand the fire department can't be everywhere to watch for flare-ups, but it's just the fact that this guy can just drive up.
Yeah.
And he's watching the charred remains of this, this Aldi. Just, it's weird.
Yeah, look at all this. It's just. Oof. Yeah, I've been through many of this stuff, looking after hurricanes.
Yeah.
Something similar to this, not to this scale, but after Hurricane Sandy out here, the area that some of my family lives in, Breezy Point, Queens, had the ocean cover
just
the entire area, and then the houses that were above the water caught on fire. And as the water receded, the fires increased. The whole area was just charred and destroyed, smoke everywhere, puddles. It was just unlivable. Yeah, look at all this.
Well, if you're in the city of Altadena, just know the Jack in the Box.
Oh, this fucking guy.
Somehow.
Silver linings,
Well, yeah, I think I'll go hit Jack in the Box afterward as a
This
show of
man's
solidarity.
Jetta SE TSI survived the fire. Now, can't say the same for the house, but at least little something.
I don't think the car survived. I think the guy pulled up.
I think
and
the guy just pulled up.
Checking
Exactly.
his remain. That's why.
It's all brick and stone that survived. Anything wood, gone.
We should plug this guy's video because we are playing it. His name is F Stop, EFF Stop on YouTube.
I mean, you're right.
Just,
When you
the
see the
gas
cars
line, I
all
believe,
burnt
yeah.
out like that, that
Yeah.
does make it feel very, very eerie.
Yeah, there's some. Look, there's still fires going.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. It's just like what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I guess at this point, all
I don't know
the
if there's
first
a country
responders
club
are
or
like,
like
you're
a
on your
club
own.
with, like,
Don't
It's
be
either
doing
going
it.
to burn out or it's going to travel.
Yeah.
Obviously, eventually they're going to have no fuel for that fire. It's just, that is nuts.
There's this is it here. We comes like it's like all these cars that were abandoned. And some of them were classic cars. It just becomes like a graveyard. For cars.
Better news for you guys. As car enthusiasts, sometimes, man, that hurts. Hurts the soul.
It's rough.
A lot of old American classics here. Oh, jeez. Sorry, guys, we're not really talking too much these days, but sometimes you're just left in shock and awe. Oh my God.
Yeah, look at that.
What in the...
Wow.
That is crazy.
Was that the bumper that melted?
I think the bumper is what's on the ground in front of it.
Imagine how hot that must have been.
Right. That's what I was thinking. Like something
like lava
to melt it.
Lava.
Yeah.
That was probably like aluminum. So you're thinking maybe like muffler or anything in the undercarriage.
Yeah.
Any aluminum components. Yeah.
Man, look at this.
Again, these people are just walking around checking everything out. You got cars going by, and then there's still things on fire. So you know what? The fact that these guys have this much access, maybe Paris Hilton did get that footage. Like now I'm walking back my statement.
Look at that.
It's not but there's a big difference between guys that are street level like this and Paris Hilton going back and walking through all that.
I know, but still.
How's this? What's fueling the fire over there?
And it's like these firefighters, like, we can't really do anything about it.
It's like the CNN crew over there. This guy has some classic cars over here.
There is a very large amount of classic cars in that neighborhood.
Yeah. Look at this.
Wow.
Winds are pretty damn high too. Got the choppers coming in for a few drops. One there. Another one over there. And there's the fire right over the ridge next to Runyon Canyon. Mandatory evacs across the Hollywood Hills. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. Winds are pretty damn high right now.
Oh, look.
There he goes.
Yeah, they're dropping the water.
Man. That is just...
Yeah, no, I know. It's and I can't. It's the same thing when we were talking about the hurricane stuff. For me personally, I can't imagine losing that much of my life. You know, fire or whatever. So
let's
it's
look at
nuts.
the last. Here's some aerial footage showing you the results during the day of all of this.
Jeez.
Just the smoke cover
is
so vast.
I was reading as we were doing this that the high school that they filmed Carrie at completely burnt down. And I'm just like sitting there going, okay, like these are like California is, for whatever political leanings you have, is full of history. And like to see these things burn down like this, it is kind of weird.
Yeah. Wow, look at all this. The topography of LA is fascinating.
It is, yeah.
It's mountains and desert and ocean all at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in there.
Man, look at this. All right, there's one thing here. Here's a news thing explaining the neighborhoods.
And this is going to be that Pacific Palisades neighborhood that we've been talking about all morning and basically since yesterday. When you hear those numbers, when they say 1,000, maybe more
0% contained.
have burned in a lot of them homes, this is the neighborhood that is
look how just destroyed.
The biggest chunk of that number. Just by doing basic math, you come up with almost 500 homes just here in that shot, and they the majority, probably 99 whatever percent have been flattened by that fire. You can just go up and down the streets out here. We can pick up just any one, and you can just go back and forth from block to block to block, and every home has been destroyed. This is what was burning. This is what we could not see from the air because, well, one, the winds were too high for us to be here, but then even afterwards, there was just too much smoke. You could not really get a picture of the homes that were destroyed and the destruction that's out here. As we make our way over to the downtown area, which is very close by, that Sunset Boulevard that you're looking at right there, you can actually see a lot of that destruction over here as well. All those small businesses.
Is this the area of I wonder, is this the area of Sunset Boulevard that had like all those legendary rock clubs and stuff?
No.
Okay.
No.
Destroyed a couple of apartment buildings, also gone, and it just goes and goes and goes. Every time you just move the camera, you're going to run into a building or a home that has been flattened by the fire. Now, we did hear Gigi talking about, sadly, that they did have a confirmation of at least one other fatality down there. Those numbers may rise, because could you imagine just how this must have looked if to be there on the ground when that fire was just going through that entire neighborhood? It was, even if...
All right, well, we don't need the rest of the commentary, but...
It's crazy. So when you look at this, and it's crazy that like we sit there and go, oh my God, Paris Hilton's house died. Oh, Billy Crystal. Like, we're finding ways to associate how we're feeling about this. But like when you see these footage, like you're sitting there going, okay, these were just regular people and they lost everything. Like this whole area is just decimated.
This is
your neighborhood that maybe you lived in is gone.
Yeah.
And not just your house, your neighborhood is destroyed.
Sorry, folks, the zip code is closed. The fire outside should have told you. Yeah, this is...
It's so nuts.
Incomprehensible. Even when you can't
still
imagine it, and then you see the actual footage, and like this is it, and you're still looking at it. It's like I can't process this. Ugh, Jesus, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, look, everyone I know that's involved in this stuff right now is safe in good locations for the time being. We don't know how this is going to play out. I do want to share before we go here, because obviously we're not doing segment 2 and the other stuff, but
no,
I was trying to find some kind of levity in all of this,
right?
Where you can get it. I found some, so I'm going to bring these up right now. Of course, big news story.
I was wondering if we're going to have that one.
Big news story. Everyone's out and about. Things are happening. And always a chance when reporters are on street level and easily accessible for shenanigans or shenanigoats, whatever you want to call it. Great movie. Where things happen, either the news reporters fuck up or people are in the back playing a trumpet, having a parade, faking.
Or they're like, oh my God, it's windy. It's so windy. And some guys just running by in shorts.
Yep. All that
things
stuff.
like that.
Well, first thing that came to mind was this. Do you know who David Muir is?
Is he a news anchor?
David Muir is the anchor of ABC World News Tonight.
Got it.
He was also the guy who was the head of the debate.
Okay.
With when it was Trump and Kamala Harris.
Right.
And he was supposed to remain impartial to all of this, and wound up joining in with the rhetoric. Like it was the
he was fact checking in real time, and
right.
Yeah.
It was like the two people running the debates and Kamala's people all just like ganging up on Trump when it's supposed to be a debate between those two people, not him and the anchors that are hosting this thing, right?
So he's the reason Trump got elected, if anyone wants to point fingers.
He's a bit of a douche. And it's not just because of that. I've looked up on him. A lot of people think this guy's a douchebag. They think he's smug. He's an idiot. They think he causes a lot of his own faux pas and problems. And, of course, this is going on here. Now, I saw a clip online. It was somebody with their phone on their television. I was like, maybe I can find the better copy of it.
Right.
When I went to pull this, suspiciously, ABC World News Tonight, that episode was not posted.
Weird. They're usually pretty quick about
that. And then here's the other thing. ABC News people don't know consistency because all their episodes are labeled differently. The dates are always either Jan period 05 or January 04. It's like, what are you doing? Have a uniform process to have everything organized and easy to find.
I was gonna say that is something about you that I've learned, because I could say something and be like, oh, I know, like this celebrity did this. You're like, oh, I took a picture with them, and then within seconds you have it pulled up. Like there's no way anybody normal should have that quick access, but you are down to the minute when you have posted something or when it happened, and that's very commendable on your part.
Yes, it's also pathetically sad.
It's really crazy. Yes.
You know, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have this show. So here's a clip. It's David Muir. He's out on the streets in he'll tell us here, but I think he's in the Pacific Palisades.
Okay.
He's pointing something out. Now, I altered the video a little bit because we couldn't find the actual news broadcast. But I found a backdoor way into one of their systems to get the video, and I got it. I think it's all up there now, but yesterday it was not. It was very suspicious why it wasn't up there, and it was because somebody noticed this, and it was going all over online, and people calling this guy a dipshit, and making the tragic news all about himself. I altered the news clip a little bit here to show you what the problem was in case you weren't going to see it. Here it is.
In what's called Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts where there's normally shopping, a place to eat. Tonight, as you can see here behind me,
they do this a lot too. I've been noticing certain newscasters. It's like where you could do shopping, there's places to eat. Those seem to be the only two like focal points of what a town has. Mm-hmm. It's not like this is a very a rich culture. There's event centers. There's a magnet school. There's churches and synagogues, all that stuff. It's always shopping and places to eat.
Places of gathering.
Maybe that's all LA people in California give a shit about. It's possible. I just have noticed it in more than one location. What else is in the neighborhood besides, stores and fine dining? What else is there? They don't tell you that. No. But anyway, I'm going to back this up a little bit.
Shopping, a place to eat. Tonight, as you can see here behind me, it's been...
Now, keywords. You can see here behind me. Ready? Here we go.
Tonight, as you can see here behind me, it's been completely wiped away. There are still flames burning from multiple buildings here and smoke rising.
He's got to look good.
He put a clothespin on the back because the jacket doesn't fit him right. It's like it's too big to make it snug and make him look svelte. So he's good on camera instead of... Look, say what you want about newscasters and stuff like that. Certain ones go out there, they don't give a shit how they look because it makes them reputable. It makes them relatable.
It makes you relatable. Yeah.
Right. You go out there, I've seen Lester Holt, even though sometimes they have static locations where they're looking down on an area,
Right.
But there's other times I've seen him walking through. He's got a windbreaker on. It's in the rain. They at least make it look like they're investigative journalists. They go out and they're doing the stuff. They're getting boots on the ground, if you will. Right?
Right.
This guy is somebody picked a spot that was cleared of debris. Like, all right, we can set up here. This jacket doesn't. It looks a little too big. I look a little fat in this. Can we cinch this up a little bit?
Here behind me, it's been completely wiped away. There are still flames burning from multiple buildings here, and
that. Imagine doing that in essentially a war zone, a disaster area, and you had to have these kind of cosmetics to make you look presentable for the news camera.
Smoke rising from the...
Look how pretty boy he looks, right?
Right.
Other anchors and news journalists that are out there doing this, they're wearing essentially ski goggles so they could see through the ash. They've got shit all over their face and their hair's unkempt to make it look like they're in the thick of things.
This guy's hair's barely moving in the wind.
He stepped out of the tinted Escalade that drove him over here, doing his hit for like 20 minutes, and then he's gone. He's not staying out there.
Ash, again, this is where the community would be at a time of day like this. Now gone.
He's a robot. This is where the community would be at a time of day like this. They would be out here at the local clothing store. I think it's called TJ Maxx. And then they would be at one of the highest well-known coffee establishments. This one is called Starbucks. Do you know of it?
Where humans would usually consume.
Smoke
I mean,
rising.
Yeah. Listen right here.
From the ash. Again, this is where the community would be at a time of day like this. Now gone.
It's noon. No one's going to be there. They're working, you psychopath.
Yeah, fucking idiot. I can.
Yeah, that's a bad look too.
He's smug. You're hoping the wind's whipped up and a piece of of bent melted steel just happens to wing him on the side of his face. Now he's got like a Destro scar for the rest of his life right under his eye. Well, that's one side of it.
Stupid.
The other side, as I said, is there's chance for shenanigans. When they're out on the street talking to people, walking about, people will come up and do things behind a camera. You'll get people who will say some things. Do you know this clip? Have you seen this one?
I think I sent you this clip.
No, I had it, but
did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. Just check this out.
Family with a poor little girl who was.
Fire happening right now.
Say that again?
Why is there a fire happening right now?
There are multiple fires that are taking place.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're the news though. You're supposed to know.
Well, I don't know how it started. We don't know how it started. There,
I think
winds.
it's all the gay people in LA.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
We got the.
Wait, hold on.
Gina.
Unacceptable.
The family with a little.
Yeah, hold on. Let's go back to that.
This young inebriated gentleman.
Yeah. Or he knows what he's doing.
It's all the gay people in LA.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
We got the.
Unacceptable.
What is this guy doing? He's just texting on his phone while he's just sitting in his car.
He was pulling out of like a parking area and he's waiting for traffic to move so he could get out. And he's like, "Oh, they're gonna put the camera on me. Fuck that. I'm not looking at that. I'm texting." Hey, I think I'm on Fox 5. Turn me on. Look at me. Because of all the gay people is why. Yeah, God came down and
smiting you guys.
Smited Los Angeles.
You've been smote. Wow.
Yeah. So there'll be more coming. They're not out there yet, but there'll be more coming. And we'll have a bunch for next week. Now, because of this situation and because of everything else that was going on here, obviously, we're not going to get to the rest of the material that we had. We're definitely not getting to segment 2. That can wait till next week. We've went pretty long with this show, even though we were trying to make it shorter, or told to make it shorter. But we had been off for a few weeks. We had to talk about what happened with us. And then the second half of the story is one of the biggest news stories to hit.
This is huge.
Yeah, and this is going to be around for a while. So here we are. Wishing the best to everybody that has to deal with this.
All right.
And I think with that, we do need to get out of here. So with that being said, Jordan, our nation's eyes are turning to you.
If you want to go out and check things out that I'm doing, at Jinx Ronan, Instagram, X Blue Sky, Facebook, if you want to come find me there. I don't do anything. Twitch, Jinx Ronan 79. I've been streaming a few things. And, if you got an Amazon subscription, go out and subscribe to the show. Use your free subscription through that service. And come check us out on Twitch. And just, come say hi. Come check out all our playlists. We did a lot of music stuff. I really do love when we do that every year. It's been, I think we need to do more of those throughout the year instead of just making it one time.
Well, no, that's when we were figuring it out. But now we've discussed we're going to start doing some music specials. Now,
be fun.
The thing that's tricky with that is because obviously we can't put the music specials on YouTube. Just because of licensing. We can do it for the radio, we can't do it for the video stuff there. So you get what we call the scoped versions, which mean you heads and tails of the song, ins and outs, and that's about it. The music version is available right now, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, what have you. But that's only for a limited time too. I think at the end of this week it goes and then it's replaced with the scoped version. So you can hear the songs right now.
Last year's scoped.
And then that's all going to change and it'll be abbreviated. So if you want to go check it out, like Jordan said, Spotify, Apple, look up the most recent episodes for the It's Erik Nagel show there. E-Rock Radio 2, episode 2, that is the one that we did the top 5 of 2024. For me and the show, there's the button. It's Erik Nagel across the board on all the social medias. If you want to join us live each and every week, subscribe to our YouTube channel and on our Twitch channel if that works for you. All under It's Erik Nagel. It's free. Hit the notifications, all of that stuff. If you're watching us when we're not live at your own convenience, that is also fine and well to do as well. The videos are available up on our YouTube channel, usually produced, chopped up, and all that fun stuff there. Do us a kindness over there. Go and hit like on those videos. It does help out. Maybe throw a comment in there if you like it, you suck. Whatever you do, the algorithm only sees interaction, and that's what we're looking for. So please go do that. If you want the audio version, subscribe on Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, any of those kind of places. You can hear the audio version of the show anytime that you choose to do that. All right. That's it. Our best to the people of Los Angeles. Your state, beautiful state, but it's been run terribly for the last 50 years. Maybe now you all will finally fucking wake up and do something about it. But until then, Jordan?
Be excellent to each other.
And we'll be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel.
I gotta go.
Huge laugh.
I gotta go.
Huge rolling in the aisle laugh. Go on.
All right, I'll do it.
Good. Get out of here, you big successful talk show host.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itseriknagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends, so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.